Welcome to a blustery night in Tulsa as the OU Sooners come to town to take on the ORU Golden Eagles. I'm Scott Higgins along with George Frazier. And George, the first thing you got to consider tonight is this crazy wind.
It is crazy, and it seems on the infield that you get a swirling effect, yet the outfield you're going to feel the flight of the baseball. Important you took a lot of fly balls during batting practice.
An upgrade in opponent for the Golden Eagles tonight. For the Sooners, it starts with Cade Harris, the leadoff man.
No question. Cade is a guy that's going to get on base, and typically he'll work counts. He'll get you to a 3-1, 3-2 type count, but he can swing the bat, steal a base, plays a very efficient left field, a good player.
Now for the ORU side, who else but Noah Cummings? He's been doing it for the last couple of years. Once again, the Summit League Player of the Week.
Well, 5 home runs already on the season. A guy that hit into double digits last year, deep into double digits, drove in 80-something runs. This guy can play, and I like him defensively. A lot of people don't talk about it. Strong arm in right field.
Now, Oral Roberts has played OU for several years now, and that's actually ORU has a lead in this series recently, so nobody's backing down tonight, are they?
No, they shouldn't, and it's a midweek game for these guys, and I tell you, Skip Johnson has said, we need to win 90% of these games.
And speaking of Skip Johnson, he's done a great job for the Sooners this year.
He has, and he's going to continue.
Skip Johnson and the Sooners taking on the Golden Eagles. We'll be back with the first pitch right after this. A little bit of a chilly night for baseball here at Johnson Stadium in Tulsa. 55 degrees. I would bet that the wind chill's just a bit cooler. That breeze out of the northwest at 18 miles per hour, sometimes gusting up to 30. George, what kind of baseball weather is this?
Cold. It's cold baseball weather. But it's baseball weather, and the Oklahoma Sooners are in town to take on the Golden Eagles. It should be a very good ball game. Most of the lineup in for the Sooners and absolutely for the Golden Eagles, minus Spencer Henson.
Now, we're going to let the audience in on something. George, obviously a famous Oklahoma alumnus, but also you've seen the Sooners several times this year, so you're our Sooner guy here in the press box.
Well, I'll try to do the best I can about it. I'm fortunate enough that they have me come down and do a lot of their ball games on Fox, so I enjoy doing that. We should take a look at the lineup.
Yeah, that lineup, we're going to let you in on a secret. That is the North Dakota State lineup, so we'll just take a seat on that. Oklahoma, though, a very tough lineup starting off with Cade Harris. We talked about him in the pregame, and he's someone that's closing in on the top 20 in school history in walks. So your classic leadoff hitter, got a great eye, and does a great job of getting on base for Oklahoma.
And they have the young sophomore, Brandon Saragosa, Steele Walker, Kyler Murray, the quarterback. You'll get a look at him in center field, and hadn't played for a couple of years. Good player.
So here's your specialist for the Golden Eagles. Every Tuesday night against national competition, Taylor Varnell trots out. He's 2-1, 3.75 ERA, 24 innings pitched, 33 strikeouts during that period, and only 7 walks. So Varnell just loves us. What a great spot to be a pitcher, right? You can play national competition every single week.
And national TV every single week.
Yeah,
that's the good part about it. Yeah, you're the TV guy that gets all the TV games. He does a good job. It's a fastball, curveball mix, occasional changeup. You got some loyal fans that have showed up at the park. It's cold. I will tell you, that north wind, Scott and I were down on the field shooting that open, and it was a little chilly.
The guys wearing the short sleeves are going to be the ones feeling it later. But anyway, a great matchup, Sooners and Golden Eagles. And we'll get things started off with the junior, Cade Harris, batting .310 with a home run. And 17 RBI. Danger when he gets on base, too. Good stolen base guy. Just good on-base percentage guy.
Good player. His stock has risen dramatically among the pro ranks this year because of the way he plays the game, position. He's also a middle infielder, playing left field for the Sooners all year.
Facing Taylor Varnell, who just relishes these situations. He's played Oklahoma several times over the years, Oklahoma State, all the national teams that come in on these Tuesday night games. Taylor's the guy they hand the ball to.
And the fourth guy in your rotation, if you want to call him that. The fourth guy in the rotation. But that helps you when you get to the regions, because you're going to play a number of games. You have that backup like a second number one.
And Taylor much more comfortable with lefties, only batting .222 against him. The righties having a little more success, batting .281. So Varnell will try to feast on the lefties and minimize the damage for the right-handers.
Well, 281 is still not a dramatic big number. It's not like 4-something or 3-something. So the 281 is not bad, but he really does dominate left-handers, particularly because of the breaking ball.
Sooners as a team batting .282. We should point out this is only the 4th road game of the season for Oklahoma. They're 0-3 in their previous 3 road games. 1-2 on a neutral site. So they're looking for that first road win of the year.
Yeah, they went to Dallas Baptist, were beat 5-4 there. They went to Wichita State, beat 2-1 at Wichita State.
Full count now to Harris. Popped up. Several Golden Eagles call it, and it'll be Pearson that makes the catch. So Harris pops up. It brings out Brandon Zaragoza. He's batting .299, the sophomore. No homers and 15 RBI at the shortstop.
And the biggest thing you fight as a hitter in these kind of conditions, because of the wind blowing out steadily to dead center field, is to overswing. You're trying to think about home run the whole time.
Well, and it is significant, just even down there on the ground where you have the goal, the stands and everything behind you. You get a ball up there, it's going to go tonight, isn't it?
It should. I mean, that's the thing. It's 15 to 20 miles an hour, dead center field, maybe even up to 25. I know forecast had said up to 35 at some point in this ball game. That seemed a little of a stretch for me. It's nice this morning at 5:30, though. It was 58 degrees, no wind. It was just cool and calm and just wonderful.
It was cold last night, warm this morning. Now it's chilly again. It's somewhere in between.
Welcome to Oklahoma. It changes every 30 minutes.
Chop foul. It's 1-2 to Zaragoza.
And that's what makes Farnell good. He gets ahead of hitters. He pounds the strikes. If you're going to beat me, you're going to hit me. I'm not going to get beat by a lot of walks. Typically works very fast. Not a lot of walking around as he walks around. Not a lot of walking around on the mound. He gets himself in a position for success.
So here's your first question. If you're a guy who works fast and because of the game situation has to work slowly, how much of a rattling does that put?
Well, that's a little bit of a tough balance. I mean, most of the time, umpires want to work a game fast. They don't like standing around. So if you're the guy leading it, he'll be the one speeding it up. He'll tell hitters to get in the box. You know, let's play baseball. I think, you know, television can slow the game down at times because teams are out in a hurry.
Inside, almost hit him. Now, you're noticing the camera's a little shaky. That is not due to our camera operators, who are fantastic. That is due to that wind is just howling through here from the northwest to the southeast. It's really blown in.
Well, normally you think you got a good straw if you got the low first camera angle, you know, or the low third angle. Hey, I'm covered, I'm protected. I don't know that there's a good angle for any one of our camera person tonight. It's difficult. Inside fastball. It's ran back off the plate. And Zaragoza comes up with a one-out walk.
And from walk to Walker, Steele Walker, the right fielder, batting .333, has 3 home runs, 19 RBI, and dangerous on the base paths.
Preseason All-American, made the All-Star team, player of the year at the Cape Cod League last year. Played on Team USA. He's a very prominent player there.
Walker is a junior from Prosper, Texas. Don't know where Prosper is.
Someone will tell us shortly.
Yep, that's why I threw it out there. We're going fishing.
Yeah.
Where is Prosper? 2-0, and so far, Farnell, not his usual self. It's very early, but usually he comes out firing strikes. He's a little bit erratic so far, early on.
If he typically has difficulty, it's the later part of the game in the 5th or 6th inning.
It's that one. 2-1 to Walker. Runner on first is Zaragoza. If you're just joining us, he reached with a walk.
Where's Prosper, Texas? I'm trying to figure this out. Is it
You're
West
not looking
Texas?
at me when you ask that
No,
question.
it's West Texas, I think. I'm not sure. Well, I hate to disappoint the whole world. It is a suburb of Dallas, Fort Worth.
Now, I'm sitting here watching. You're just
Is
sitting
that broken
here.
arrow, Jinx?
Where
That
did
same
you get
type of
that?
thing.
You're just sitting here looking at. How did that come in? Is that in your headset?
I
Or?
just can't reveal my sources at all times.
Apparently not. You're not picking up a phone.
Yeah.
You just say that. So.
Yeah, things just get blurted out. That's right. Well, early days of broadcasting television baseball games, you could say whatever you wanted because their internet wasn't there.
Exactly.
They couldn't go check the stats and say things.
And they didn't have VCRs. It was just When it happened, it happened. Full count now to Walker. Try
to take the breaking ball right at him. Oh, good pitch. Right inside.
Throws him up, and Walker takes a seat for out number 2. First strikeout of the young evening for Varnell. And it'll bring up the guy that a lot of people want to see, Kyler Murray, the favorite to be the quarterback in the fall, and now playing a great season of baseball.
Very quick bat. You're going to see. You see the fastball that just froze. Steal Walker for the strikeout. Murray has gotten hot of late. He has swung the bat very well against Baylor, covering a lot of ground. It's a lightning quick bat.
Just a fantastic athlete. You know, a guy who can start at quarterback and then start on the baseball team. Obviously, it's happened before, but man, oh man, is he a specimen.
Well, I'm drawing a blank right now, but Coach Farmer and I were talking about it, and that was the starting third baseman, played in the big leagues for the White Sox, and the starting quarterback for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And he went in the first round and took off. Here's the pick at first base. Very legal pick. Didn't go past the 45-degree angle over, just to tighten Saragosa up a little bit.
Could you be talking? Well, it wasn't Josh Holliday because he never signed as a quarterback.
No, I'm gonna have to figure it out. I will. I'll get it. He played third base. He played in the big leagues for the White Sox, and at the end of his career, he went to the Dodgers, then Japan. Golly. That's what happens once you turn 64, Scott. You just start to forget things.
Well, at least you know where Prosper, Texas is, so I'll give you that. 1-2 now to Murray.
Josh Fields, that's who it is.
That's right, Josh Fields.
Yeah, and so Kyler will go to football and then come running over to the stadium and go down in the cage and hit at 5:30 and get his swings in and play catch. He didn't get a swing in here, though.
Strikes out looking. That's the second strikeout. First looking for Varnell, and after a half an inning, we are scoreless. We'll be back with this and let ORU bat when we come back. Who else but Nick Rourke leading off for the Golden Eagles? Cal Hernandez batting second. Noah Cummings, the current conference player of the week, is batting third, followed by Riley Kaiser. Then it's McCutcheon, Rotola, and Archambault in the lineup tonight. Brody Gibson is catching, and batting ninth will be the shortstop, R.J. Pearson. They are facing a tough pitcher for the for the Sooners, Kyle Tyler. He's 1-2, kind of a tough luck guy, but a 4.07 ERA, 24 innings pitched, 32 strikeouts, 9 walks. Somewhat similar numbers to Taylor Varnell, who's starting for the Golden Eagles.
Well, batting average against is 281. They've thrown a couple of wild pitches on the year. Hit a couple of guys. This is a fastball that'll be 88 to 92, touch at 93 at times. Hard cutter. It turns into a very good slider when it's away from him in the zone. And this kid can pitch a little bit. He came in relief last week for the Sooners and struck out 5 out of the 6 that he faced.
Nick Rourke has been really hot, the leadoff hitter for the Golden Eagles. He's hit safely in 19 of the last 20 games. Average up at almost 300, the 294 mark, 8 RBI, 14 walks, and a couple of stolen bases, and a great second baseman defensively. Just the whole package. So it'll be Rourke, Hernandez, and Cummings facing Tyler. Sooners had a mild threat in the first with the walk to Zaragoza, but couldn't bring him around. 2 strikeouts after that. Both teams coming into this game have won 3 in a row in conference play. The Sooners did it very impressively against Baylor. And ORU took out North Dakota State 3 games in a row to ascend back to first place in the Summit League standings at 7-2, tied with Omaha, also 7-2. Nick Rourke, the local from Broken Arrow.
Shannon Dobson, the head coach at Broken Arrow High School, does an extremely good job. As he has fed a few onto the college ranks and onto the professional ranks. Most notably, probably Archie Bradley, who pitches for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mason Hope went high in the draft. Same year.
That's a pretty good resume just with those 2 guys.
Yeah, and Brad Penny. Of course,
Yeah,
Brad went to school there, but I think Dauber was probably playing then. Skip Johnson, the head coach of the University of Oklahoma, his first season here. He's assisted by Clay Overcash, a longtime White Sox scout.
Grounded to second, and it gets through, and Nick Rourke is safe. So Rourke picks up the single, And that'll bring up Cal Hernandez, who has a 12-game hitting streak of his own.
High chopper just going to catch and increase the speed and the volume on the ball on that second hop, and that's what got it through the middle of this infield, out of the reach of Mendenhall, and out into the outfield.
Hernandez batting a gaudy .361. Rourke not really a big stolen base threat, has a couple of this year. Golden Eagles would like to get out in front early. You know, a lot of people, especially fans, Oklahoma's a great institution, fantastic athletic program. And here's little old ORU with, you know, baseball but no football. But ORU has certainly held its own. ORU leads the overall series 40-34, but ORU has won 5 of the last 7 and is 17-3 all time at Johnson Stadium against the Sooners. If I may blurt out a bunch of stats for you.
Well, nobody likes to come here and play. The Golden Eagles have been very, very good at J.L. Johnson Stadium for a number of years. So your Power 5 conference people, the Wichita State's, which does come here. Missouri State is one of those top 25 programs that comes here and plays. Little known Missouri State. Arkansas won't come here anymore. They got beat up enough they didn't want to come back anymore. That was when Rob Walton was the head coach here at Oral Roberts.
You know, you wonder how much, if Arkansas comes to play ORU and loses, how much does it really hurt them?
Well, it hurts their RPIs. That's the big thing about it. These midweek games, and Skip Johnson, the head coach at Oklahoma, has stated, I need to win 90% of these things, because when you are in the Power 5, they're only going to take a certain number of teams out of every conference. And if you don't win the Big 12 tournament, then it may take 3 teams, maybe 4. But then the SEC is going to take 14, the ACC 15, and that starts to eat up. And then you have the conference winners, like at Oral Roberts, that goes every year. And hopefully again this year that they take up a spot. So the field gets filled very quickly. And so these midweek games mean a lot. And if you're on the bubble and happen to finish 4th in the Big 12, but you win and your record's good, then changes everything.
So why will an Oklahoma, an Oklahoma State, and Nebraska not only play ORU but also come here, but Arkansas wants no part of it?
Well, I don't know why Arkansas won't. I just don't think they want to travel up here. They feel like everybody needs to come to them, and a lot of times they'll do a 2-in-1 change out. So you come to us twice, 2 years in a row, we'll come there once. Dominic Dorenzo's behind the plate. The normal catcher has been Brady Lindsley, who is hitting .368, and he's has felt ill today, so he's not in the lineup. Dorenzo was a freshman All-American and had Tommy John last year. Another look at the stolen base. This ball is going to bounce away from him. Hits off of the shin guard, not in time to recover to pick up Nick Rourke out at second base.
So Rourke moves into scoring position on what I'm going to call a passed ball. That certainly wasn't a wild pitch. And so he is now in scoring position with Cummings, and his 5 home runs and 29 RBI and a .291 batting average at the plate. Leads the Golden Eagles in home runs and RBI.
Right guy at the right time at the plate right now.
Chopper over to Ware and makes the play. So Rourke will stay at second. Cummings probably would want that one back.
Take a look at the pitch. Is it a hard cutter? It is. Moving down and away from him in the high 80s, and able to get to the top of it. And Briley Ware is able to make the play and throw out Cummings at first.
That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Riley Kaiser. Normally a catcher, but with Spencer Henson's injury, they're moving things around a little bit. Brody Gibson will catch tonight, and Kaiser moves over to first. Leads the team in walks with 15 from right down the street in Verdigris. So an RBI opportunity here for Kaiser. It would be number 19 on the season. Nice pitch, strike one. Wind blowing out, as we said in the pregame. No one has taken advantage of it. A lot of ground balls so far.
You try to combat it as a pitcher. You throw the 2-seam fastball, which creates sink.
Kaiser watches the first 2 strikes go by. That was high and outside, but still in the strike zone, according to Sean Arthur. Other umpires, Joe Brown at first and Conan Strobel at third. Conan's a good name for an umpire. You don't mess with Conan, right?
No, you don't go. It's all good.
High and outside. When you played for the Sooners, or you had a great program even back then, was it a game that was just another game, or is it because it was in the state you guys really wanted to win?
Well, I think it was in the state. I mean, they've got a lot of Oklahoma guys. They have Oklahoma guys, and some of these Oklahoma players feel like they were passed over by Oklahoma, so they want to show something. It's the pride factor.
And that is strike 3 looking. I don't think Kaiser agreed with the call, but nonetheless, it is strike 3, and the Golden Eagles go down. After 1, we are scoreless in Tulsa. We'll take a break. Be back right after this. Third member of our team is Eric Hansen. Let's go down and talk to Eric. What do you got?
Thanks, Scott. As you guys take a glance out of center field, you can see those flags moving very strongly. But I'll tell you, standing down here right at first base in the dugout, the wind is hitting us directly in the back of the head, really swirling around in this infield area. And as you can visibly see, outfield's pushing straight away still.
Thank you, Eric. George, when we did the pregame, the wind was blowing out of the north, but it felt like it was coming out of the south down on the field.
Yeah, and you knew it was out of the north because of the temperature of the wind. Out of the south, we'd have been a little bit warmer.
This is Briley Ware, the junior, batting .298, 20 RBI and 11 doubles. Playing good third base for the Sooners. You look at the Sooners as they go through the lineup. There are a lot of guys just from this area, Sedgwick, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. It's not like they're going to California to get a whole bunch of people or going back east. They're doing it with relatively local guys.
They're trying to, and that's something that Skip, being from Texas, he coached at Navarro where he won 450 ball games and 11 seasons as a pitching coach at Texas. He has extremely strong ties in the state of Texas. And then Clay Overcash, who worked for the White Sox 15 years as an area scout, lived here in Tulsa, has close ties. He ran the Sandlot program in the summer, so he has a lot of close ties to the Oklahoma kids here. And that's Clay with the jacket on, talking to the hitters moving to your left there. And so then Clay Van Hook's another guy that was at Texas A&M, and he played there, and his dad was a scout. And it helps with those connections to find those players, but to focus in this area, and they've done that, as well as Oral Roberts has done that.
Well, that was my point. Back when maybe Sonny Galloway was the coach, a couple of coaches ago, you get a ton of imports from the West Coast. Now they're keeping it close.
Well, they go to where they feel comfortable and they can trust guys. Because obviously, because of budgets, you can't run all over the country to take a look at one player.
High fly ball to center. Rutola makes the catch for the first out. You almost feel like every time a ball's hit like that, it's just going to keep blowing, but that one just kind of died.
I mentioned earlier, you start hunting for the fence with the wind blowing out. A lot of times you overswing, and so, in pro baseball, you'd say missed it by a grain when they hit those high fly balls in a wood bat. But here they just work under the baseball, and they just don't have a very good result with it at times.
Kyle Mendenhall, the second baseman, he's a senior, batting .304, 3 home runs, 26 RBI, and a couple of stolen bases.
Really good player. The guy that can play in the middle of the infield. They have Saragosa. He can play short if he need be. Leads their club in RBIs with basically just being a smart hitter. Runner on third, nobody out, hit the long fly ball. Does a lot of correct things as a hitter.
Coaches love guys like that, don't they?
Pro people are liking a lot of things of what Mendenhall's doing.
Mendenhall clubs it to left center field. And just like that, Rutola is there to make the catch. I thought that one might add a little more gas on it.
From the look of Mendenhall's face when he left the bat, I thought maybe he felt the same way. You see, he turned on this ball pretty good off the end of the bat slightly, which killed the distance on the baseball, but yet about 5 feet shy of that warning track.
I think it got Varnell's attention, but luckily for the Golden Eagles and Varnell, it died. Brings up Cade Cavalli, the freshman, first baseman. Batting .259, a couple of homers, and 15 RBI from Bixby.
Bixby High School played for Glenn Sullivan. His dad played right here at Oral Roberts for the BBA Titans team based out of here. His dad, his coach, a 42nd round draft pick by the St. Louis Cardinals. Cavalli had suffered an injury early in the high school season and came on strong at the end. Skip's using him on the mound too, a guy that possesses a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
What's it like when these local guys from the Tulsa area come back with other schools? Big thrill for them, isn't it?
Pretty fired up. Yeah, absolutely it is. Saw Cade's mom, dad, and everybody else in the stands. You hope you show up well. Unfortunately, the short end there with a strikeout.
Third strikeout of the night for Varnell. And he gets him swinging. Golden Eagles and Sooners are scoreless through 1.5. We'll take a break, come back right after this. Back in windy Tulsa as the Golden Eagles come up to bat in the bottom of the second against the Sooners. So far, some pretty good pitching. Taylor Varnell has 3 strikeouts already for the Golden Eagles. And also a couple of strikeouts for Tyler. Kyle Tyler doing a nice job for the Sooners early on.
11 on 2 pitches, fastball cutter, and he commands both very well.
Trevor McCutcheon is the batter, and he is someone we haven't talked a lot about this year. In the past, he's pitched, he's hit, he's done a great job. Off to just a really slow start this year, batting, I don't even know how to say that, .077.
Yeah, don't say it. It sounds bad. You're gonna make his mom mad. Don't say nothing.
And she's a great lady. I don't want to do that.
That's right.
That.
No, and for him, he just was injured early.
Yes.
You know, had lower back issues, and for a hitter to have lower back and try to recover, that's tough.
He does have a double. And Trevor, over the years, he's a junior now, but has done some great things as a Golden Eagle. So always a dangerous hitter. How did you like pitching into a brisk wind? Now, it's not as brisk on the field. Up top it is, but it's just swirling and crazy.
It really can help your breaking ball. Because of the rotation of the balls biting into the wind, it can create a bigger, sharper break. You just got to get your release point right so you can have success with it. Otherwise, it breaks a lot out of the strike zone.
Let's go down to Eric Hansen. Eric, what do you got?
Hey guys, talking to the ORU coaching staff before about Trevor McCutcheon, just how he's seeing the ball, how things are feeling. They commented the exact same way. He's just now getting his hacks in for the very beginning of the season, where other guys, you know, are 20, 30 at bats in. He's just at a fresh 8 games played so far on this young season, but they feel comfortable. He's starting to see the ball, and that average will start to climb as the results come for him.
Well, the Golden Eagles have 3-4 players with near 100 or more at bats. So think about that. And McCutcheon, unfortunately, is having his 27th at bat. So about a quarter of what everybody else has been doing. And even when you're hurt and down with the back, it's not like you can go over here to the indoor and spend a lot of time getting your swing and timing down.
You can't do anything.
Well, it's a little different having a guy soft toss than it is a guy throwing 92 on the mound at you.
2-2 to Trevor McCutcheon. Nice cut, fouled it off. Decent crowd. Probably would have been better had the weather not been quite as chilly. That wind is, you know, the air temperature is 55, 56, but that wind is a lot cooler than that.
I'm not sure about that air temperature. It's 55 somewhere, but I don't think it's here.
I don't know all that meteorological stuff. I don't know if the
you never had to do the weather when you were in TV?
No, I wasn't a meteorologist. I just read off the card and stood there and pointed at a map.
At a green screen?
It was a green screen, yes, as a matter of fact. Full count to McCutcheon. And the leadoff man takes a walk. Usually a good sign. We shall see with Nick Rotolo coming up.
There you go. It's here's it is. 16-mile-an-hour winds.
That's all?
It's 52 degrees.
Okay.
Feels like 42.
All right, there's the feels like is the important thing.
Is that the important thing?
That's very
important.
In
here, I'm going to say the wind is 0.
Unless you're talking, right?
And it's 74 degrees. Right, unless I'm talking. 70, and it's 72 degrees and feels like 72.
I could watch baseball all day from in here with the temperature. It's fantastic. Rotolo batting .287, a couple of homers, 3 RBI, and 3 stolen bases. Got some wheels when he gets on. Ryan Fulmer does so much with this program. These names we're going through in the lineup, a lot of these guys are 3-year guys. I mean, he really has a very consistent program. And it's not easy to recruit here all the time.
It's not easy, but I think what he does well is the guys that think they want to go play professional baseball. It's a fine line. Do you want to take your 25 to 60,000 and go play? Or would you rather spend that year of graduating with your college degree and then go play professional baseball? And it's a fine line you play with, and you have to give every player, ideally, the best situation for them.
0-2 to Rottola. Stays alive. We've spoken about this several times over the course of the season. Nick got hurt really badly last year, so he's really a fifth-year senior. Brings a lot of leadership and a lot of wheels to the team, too. He's fast.
Well, when you build your ball club, you build up the middle. So you want to make sure you have the catching position covered, your pitching staff short, second, and center. Center field's covering so much ground. I mean, it's gap to gap plus to the wall, so you're covering the ground in order to get the success you need to have with your ball club. You got to have very versatile guys up the middle and behind the plate.
Still 0-2 to Rottola, who's battling. Laid off the outside. I remember when the Golden Eagles built the padding, added the new padding this year. It's already got crazy pock marks back there. There's a lot of heat being thrown.
Yeah, there is. A lot of foul balls right off the bat, hit it. You can see them all back there.
Looks like target practice.
Looks like the moon.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It's got a few craters back there.
Not made of cheese, though. The moon is made of cheese, right?
No.
No. Darn. Darn.
No. Mickey Mouse must have talked to you.
McCutcheon taking the lead at first. Swing and a miss. It'll be strike 3, and Rottola takes the first out. All right, A.J. Archambault coming up. He is batting below 100, has an RBI. He's a freshman. They really like him. But this is a big spot for a freshman, isn't it?
Well, he's getting opportunities, and there's 3 of them in the bottom of the lineup today. Archambault was a very good player in high school. You're going to have your baby steps. You're going to hit speed bumps. It's going to be difficult for you at times. You're seeing consistent pitching above 90 that have very good breaking balls, and a lot of times you're going to self-doubt whether you can play at this level or not. And it's the coaching staff, teammates that continue to convince you that it's okay. You're going to be able to pull this off.
It's a good managerial job, too, by Fulmer, mixing some of these freshmen in here. And even in big games, you know, past coaches might just say, hey, you can play against XYZ from the Summit League, but you're not sniffing anything against Oklahoma. And it's just the coaching philosophy. I think when Sonny Galloway was here, he would change lineups and set up pitching rotations to beat these types of teams like Oklahoma. Rob Walton, not as much. He wanted his pitching rotation set up for conference play, and Fulmer following along with Rob Walton's strategy.
Well, I think that's the right strategy. The conference is the key. And the Golden Eagles will host again here with the conference tournament again. What a huge advantage that is for your ball club to be able to host here. By far the best facility in the Summit League.
And I would say the best weather. I'm just going to take a flyer on
You
that.
may get some rain, big deal.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, you're going to be able to, with the new turf infield, it's difficult to get rained out.
1-2 to Archambault. Takes a look at strike 3. That one just handcuffed him. That's not Bartlesville High School.
No, that's a knee buckler, and you know, you feel like it's a little bit high. And when you start to struggle as a young player, whether it's here or the big leagues, no matter where you are, you start to chase, you start to guess as a hitter instead of react to the pitch, where it's thrown, and how you're doing it. And sometimes that makes it a difficult time to have success.
We go from Bartlesville to Brody Gibson from Claremore. So another local freshman. Doing nice work at catcher for the Golden Eagles this year. He and Kaiser have that position pretty much hunkered down. 0-1, 2 outs to Gibson. Big cut. These freshmen, I would imagine, they're playing an in-state rival, a Power 5 school, so to speak. I think they've got to keep their emotions in check, especially.
Well, right. And the other side, you got to remember, when you say keep those emotions in check, you got to stay the course.
Yes.
Is the biggest thing. You got to stay the course and rely on guys that have struggled. Hey, Matt Watley walked up to me in the indoor one day his freshman year, and he goes, I can't hit. Can't do it here. I said, yeah, I think you can. You're going to be fine. Be patient. Let it happen. Quit trying to press. Just play the game the right way. And, sure enough, obviously turned out to an All-American, Johnny Bench winner, and a 103rd pick in the draft last year. So, it's just a matter of trusting your skills and being patient, waiting for success.
Swing and a miss, and a nice pitching job so far for Kyle Turner. After the initial walk, he strikes out the side. That is strikeout number 5 in only 2 innings. Scoreless through 2. We'll be back after this. Scoreless through 2. Let's go down to Eric Hansen.
Hey, Scott, thanks so much. Down here, head coach Skip Johnson. Coach, what do you think so far you're starting pitching tonight?
Well, I just think he's executing pitches and just got to keep executing pitches one pitch at a time and be in control of himself. That's the biggest thing that we talk about all the time.
Very good. Scott, George, back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric. That is gorgeous. You look at that, it looks like that's from a beach in Florida, and it's about 85 degrees. Not quite the case here. That's beautiful.
You know what? To me, if there was cornfield of dreams.
Yeah, I could see that as well.
Did you see that movie, I hope?
I have seen that movie.
More than once.
I've seen too many movies.
More than once.
Tyler Hardman, the designated hitter for the Sooners. He's just a freshman, batting .242, homer and 7 RBI in the number 8 hole. 3 strikeouts so far for Varnell. Big cut and a miss.
Throwing the ball hard. Both these starting pitchers have just wore out the strike zone, which is important, obviously, but working ahead in count since the first inning. Varnell fell behind a couple, but he has worked ahead since.
Through 2 innings, 8 total strikeouts, 3 for Varnell and 5 for Tyler. 0-2 count. We're playing fast baseball for the moment.
Yeah, big curveball. Got him way out on front foot. Hardman, a freshman at the University of Oklahoma. Another one of those guys that's going to experience failure with the success, and you got to understand how it's all going to work.
We've had a couple of base runners in this game as Dominic DiRenzo steps up. But both have been stranded. Both got on with walks. And 1 hit for the Golden Eagles. So that'll be 2 base runners. DiRenzo batting .148 with a home run and 3 RBI. A little substitution tonight for him, and it's a big game for him to play in.
Well, it is, and DiRenzo was a freshman All-American, got hot late, showed extreme power, and suffered a Tommy John injury, had elbow surgery a year ago, and took a while to get back. Never got behind the plate, played in right field most of the time. And this year, getting action as a DH behind the plate and right field.
Varnell ahead 1-2. Didn't chase that one, but that was awfully close.
Well, anytime the breaking ball comes in from the outside in, it's sometimes umpires difficult for them to call that a strike.
There you see in the center Wes Davis, the new ORU pitching coach. Been here a long time, but first year as pitching coach.
Baseball operations, there's Wes with the gray sweatshirt on. Baseball operations for a long time, but played and pitched into collegiate level. Went down to Bacone, coached for a year, came back to the Oral Roberts University. Spent a lot of time around listening to Rob Walton, who was a couple of years ago was voted the Collegiate Assistant Coach of the Year by the National Coaches Association. So good guy to learn from. Of course, Sned last year was good. Sean Snedeker, who went on to Lamar after 5 years here at Oral Roberts. He's had a tough act to follow, Wes has, but he's doing a good job of it.
That'll bring up the leadoff hitter again, Cade Harris, as Dorenzo reaches on the walk. You hate to walk the 9-hole hitter.
Yeah, it's not what you wrote it up or how you'd like to see it happen.
And the bunt goes foul. Harris, first time up, flew out to third base. Correction, shortstop. So he's 0 for 1. He's the guy we talked about in the pregame. Really good at just getting on base, and a lot of that with the good eye, getting all those walks. Just a walk away from being in the top 20 all time at Oklahoma.
On base percentage of .445, falling behind 0-2 against the left-hander.
Crowd starting to fill in. Really nice crowd tonight, considering that's a little chilly. But when the Sooners come to town, it's a different animal.
Well, you get Oklahoma, had a good crowd when Nebraska was here.
Sure.
Oklahoma State comes in, you'll see another very similar crowd, maybe even a little bigger on the baseball side of things.
Slow toss over to first just to keep Dorenzo honest.
Well, the Sooners 6-0 in Big 12 play. That's the best record they've gotten off to since 1984. A long time ago.
$20-10 overall for the Sooners. Skip Johnson's done a great job in his first year. And that one gets through the hole between short and third. And the Sooners will have runners at first and second with 1 out.
And that's what Harris does really well. Take a pitch slow and away from him, behind in the count, and just slap it to the left side of the infield.
First hit of the game for the Sooners. It'll bring up Zaragoza, who walked his first time up.
Just kind of a half swing. Very well positioned ball that was hit to the outfield.
First and second, 1 out for the Sooners. And Zaragoza, as mentioned, walked his first time up, was stranded at first. No homers on the year, 15 RBI. And just a smidge below 300 at 299 average. Sophomore shortstop.
See the freshman, Brody Gibson, starting at the catching position for the Golden Eagles. Went to Metro High School. They won a state championship a year ago. 9 seniors on that team.
Wow. And I don't know exactly how good they are this year, but if you're replacing 9 seniors, you've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
yes.
It's not easy. Coach Foster, Pat Foster, does a good job at Metro. And he's bringing along, they've got some young kids, pretty good players.
1-0 to Zaragoza with runners at first and second. Marnell would love to get a ground ball here.
Well, anyway, you can shorten up an inning. And the first 2 went by quickly because of all the strikeouts. What you have to watch for, and Oklahoma's very patient, is the second time through that lineup. It's how you tried to attack and how they will attack you back.
23 double plays thus far for the Golden Eagles. Same with the Sooners, actually. Big arching pitch is not there. 2-1.
Kind of casted the breaking ball. Just if you're thinking about you fished in your lifetime, you throw that rod across the pond, you kind of cast it up into the air. That's kind of what Barnell did with the breaking ball.
Some big cuts tonight. I think you're right when you say that they can obviously see how hard the wind's blowing. And you can say, you know, stay on task, but you can't help but notice it, right? And these young guys are like, hey, man.
Absolutely. They're fighting a lot of things off right now. There's no question about that.
Another good cut by Zaragoza. Count remains 2-2.
They felt like you have him in a breaking ball position to throw it, and then you just say, all right, let him look breaking ball. We get enough fastball. If we put it in the right spot, we might get it by. Good job by Zaragoza to foul it off to extend the at-bat.
You can see in the background the flags are still blowing strong to the northeast. I don't know what to make. The weather's supposed to be 30-something Friday, 70-something Saturday. It's just crazy. Crazy time to be playing baseball.
Well, it is. Chance of snow Friday morning.
Golden Eagles will be on the road this weekend. They'll travel to Western Illinois. And I'm not guessing the weather will be a whole lot better.
No, farther north, right?
Here, right?
Farther north, it gets a little chillier.
Sure. Full count now to Zaragoza with 1 out. Varnell can escape with the double play ball. And another one fouled on the first base line. Runners were going. Sooners much better this year at 20-10. Johnson coming over after 10 years at Texas. It's a Texas Pan Am graduate, 1990. But did some great stuff with the Longhorns. Funny that a Longhorn guy would come over and be a Sooners coach, but it happens. Shallow fly is going to drop. That's going to score 1 run. And an overthrow at third. And that'll score another.
Well, try to get after the arm a little bit too much, and you got to remember it's a cold night, ball slick in your hand, but the base hit by Zaragoza drives in a legitimate run, his 16th RBI of the season. Just fought off another fastball and able to drive in. Dorenzo, the 1-out walk comes around to score. In the bottom of the lineup, and you can see Noah Cummings get a hold of the baseball and take the gamble at third base. Typically, it will ricochet off of that cement wall and then come back to you, but it caught into the dugout of the Sooners and a run advanced. So now it's 2-0 Oklahoma.
The runner moves to third on the overthrow, so now it's 1 out and 2 runs in, and Steele Walker at the plate. Walker watches that one drop for a strike. So the Sooners have drawn first blood in the third, up 2-0. Two runs, 2 hits for the Sooners. No runs, 1 hit, and an error for the Golden Eagles. And the error on that throw by Ritola, or Cummings rather, advances the runners. Now we'll see if Varnell gets rattled or if he can fight this off. When the Sooners score first, they're 15-4 on the season. That's one of those stats you go, wow, that's impressive, but you know, they're playing different teams and you never know how much that stuff means. Just means they're a good offensive club and they get out in front of people. That one gets away from Gibson, but the runner holds at third. At this point, Varnell just wants to get an out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's difficult with a 1 out and a runner at third base because you're trying to get the strikeout. Obviously, it's easier for the hitter just kind of slap the ball, the infield's back, so Oriu's going to give him the run. And Steele Walker's able to put it in play, and is not. He has struck out for the 2nd time in this ball game.
Struck out swinging again. Strikeout number 5 for Varnell. It'll bring up Kyler Murray. Here's some drama for you.
Well, just trying to chase the fastball that's up out of the zone. And Steele Walker not able to catch up to it.
So 2 outs, both strikeouts in this inning. And Murray, the probable Sooner quarterback this fall. It's really hard to do this, isn't it? That average, by the way, that 191 is not correct. He's batting 284 just to
284, 3 home runs and 19 RBIs.
Yes.
He's got caught stealing.
Now, I know you
about 2 weeks ago.
You didn't play football for the Sooners, I'm safely assuming.
No.
Can you imagine how difficult what you did and then add football practice to it?
It's very difficult. On most normal days, he'll go over to football practice. He'll leave about 5 o'clock for a 6 o'clock game, come over, change clothes, get dressed, go down to the cage and get some cuts in, and then go out and start in center field for the Sooners in baseball.
That's really amazing when you think about all the physical work that is.
Well, a year ago, it's interesting, they were playing at the University of Texas, the baseball team was, when the spring game was going on. So he actually played on Friday night, then got up Saturday morning and drove back for the spring game, and then drove back to Texas so he could play in Sunday's game for the baseball. Very dedicated to 2 sports. He was an outstanding shortstop at the high school level. And since coming to the Sooners, he has played center field and right field.
Murray transferring over from Texas A&M. Waited his turn last year as Baker Mayfield shredded all the records as the Sooner quarterback and won the Heisman Trophy. Going to be playing in the NFL sooner than later once the draft comes and goes later this month. Murray swings and misses. His second strikeout of the game as well. First one he was looking, that one he was swinging. Either way, the Golden Eagles trail 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. We'll be back right after this. The Golden Eagles down 2-0 as they enter the bottom of the third. R.J. Pearson will lead things off. He's the only player in the game who has not batted yet from the 9-hole for the Golden Eagles. Batting .217 with an RBI and a stolen base. He's played a little more lately. And I'll tell you what, Kyle Tyler is cruising tonight so far. It's only a couple innings in, but 5 strikeouts.
That's what he did last week. His last outing, he threw 2 innings, had 5 strikeouts. A little more depth to his slider tonight.
Did you like pitching in cold weather? I mean, this isn't really cold weather, but it's cool weather.
It's cool enough. I liked it because obviously the wood bat. I mean, you know, they didn't like getting it on the end or on their hands. A little bit of a jolt. And the guys didn't like that, so yeah, I liked it. But for a fielder to keep your hands warm, let's see a lot of guys now would use the hand warmers, put them in the back pocket, pitchers and position guys, to keep their hands warm.
Wonder what Gaylord Perry would do if he would have had hand warmers at his disposal in his pocket.
Well, he had a lot of things in his pocket. It wasn't a hand warmer.
And Pearson takes a seat with the strikeout. 6th strikeout and 2 1/3 so far for Tyler.
4 in a row for Kyle. He's throwing the ball very well.
It'll bring up the top of the order with Nick Rourke.
Yeah, second time through. See what the success was. Nick was the only one to come up with a base hit so far in the ball game for the Golden Eagles. Otherwise, they have retired 7 in a row with that walk mixed in.
Now the Golden Eagles are 16-10 on the year, and that's a great record. It's a little off what they've been used to, and I think the biggest problem, it's been pitching then hitting, then pitching and hitting, but overall I think the offense has probably been the major problem at times this year.
Well, you want everything to kind of blend together. I mean, you know, you want to get a well-pitched game, but you also need to have a well-played game offensively and defensively.
ORU coming in batting .268 with 20 homers and pretty good on the base paths when they get on, but at .268 is usually a little bit higher. They've scored in bunches, though. They'll have a 4 or 5 run inning and then go the next 4 or 5 innings with nothing. Kind of a streaky team. And once again, for the second time, Rourke gets on base, this time with a walk. So Nick Rourke been on base twice, once with a single, now with a walk, and it'll bring up Cal Hernandez, the Golden Eagles leading hitter, batting .361 coming in. Struck out swinging first time up. So this is following the same script as the first inning. Rourke led off, got on base. Then Hernandez came up, and it was a series of strikeouts and a ground out by Cummings that killed that rally. Are you seeing anything, George, in Tyler's delivery and form?
He just lets it fly. I mean, it's very compact delivery. He's not particularly a tall guy. He's not 6'3" or 4. He just stays within himself and doesn't get outside the strike zone much. He doesn't get you wild or fall behind a lot, even though he walked a batter. He's got very good command of a couple of pitches.
Up the middle for 1 and 2 for the Sooners. Nicely played, double play. And just like that, the Golden Eagles will get back out there. We are through 3 innings. Sooners lead the Golden Eagles 2-0. Hey, for the Sooners, George.
Oh, an outstanding double play. Cal gets after this, shoots it right by Kyle Tyler, but look at this. The forehand over to Mendenhall to Zaragoza, and the strike on to Cavalli at first base. Nice play. Athletic play.
Isn't that gorgeous? It looks like a commercial with the gold fluttering in the background.
Well, I mean, it's literally 110 degrees. It feels so nice right now. Just kidding, folks.
That picture made it look like a nice fall day on campus. Instead, it's springtime, but it's still having trouble getting that temperature up. As the Sooners will lead off with Briley Ware, who flew out to center his first time up.
Hit the ball hard. He did hit the ball hard, though, and that was one of the true tests of the wind that thought when it left the bat it might have had a chance.
He's taking some cuts. He fouls that one off.
Briley Ware was the Triple Crown winner at Neosho as a freshman and transferred to OU last year where he swung the bat well. Meaning Triple Crown, home runs, RBIs, and average. Led all the nation before coming to University of Oklahoma.
And he drives that one up the middle for the base hit.
And it's really what he does. He's hit a lot of home runs, 27 at Neosho, but not typically a big power hitter. He's just a good, solid line drive hitter.
Single brings up Kyle Mendenhall.
You see him shorten up on the knob of the bat, look very closely. He'll choke up a couple of inches when he gets a strike, sometimes two strikes. Gives him better back control to drive the baseball.
So with Ware on first, Kyle Mendenhall and his gaudy 26 RBI coming in. Flew out to center field first time up. How does Varnell look so far?
Well, I like what he's doing. I mean, unfortunately, the error cost him a run. Should be a 1-0 ball game right now. The walk cost him. But, again, you're talking about a guy that has wore out the strike zone with breaking ball after breaking ball.
Just a note, you may be wondering why you're looking at one thing, and then I say this guy has this many home runs or batting this. The stats you're looking at as the batters come up are last year's season stats, and I'm blurting out this year's stats currently. So you get a little bit of last year, you get a little bit of this year.
A little bit of everything, right?
Sure, that's what we offer. Fouled back. 0-2 to Mendenhall. Ware on first. ORU 14-6 against the Big 12 the last couple of years. This year they split against Nebraska, who's a member of the Big 10. And then Oklahoma here the first time. A ground out puts one on the board. So Mendenhall grounds out, and it brings up Cade Cavalli.
Well, another look here. The ball just tapped up the third base line, and see Hernandez come to get it. Not enough to get to second base to get the lead runner, but to get Mendenhall at first base.
So Ware advances to second. It'll bring up Cavalli.
Cavalli took the fastball high and could not catch up to it after getting ahead with the breaking ball. Now it's still strike one, curveball again.
Cavalli struck out swinging. He was the third strikeout victim of Varnell in the second inning. That's a big smile. Probably happy to be in his hometown area.
Well, I think it's very familiar. Played a lot of baseball here on this field as a high school player through the summer. Second breaking ball got him. Matter of fact, he and Brody Gibson were teammates here at on the BVA Titan team, the summer league program that's ran out of Oral Roberts University.
As a player, you play a lot of your games at ORU, but then the quote-unquote big school recruits you. I bet that's tough.
Well, it is tough. I mean, you know, that's the one thing. You're around this every day, and it's just, you know, that's one of those things that hard to say no to a coach once you become very familiar with that coach. I know when I was going to play college basketball, I wasn't going to play baseball, and I had to go tell Edsel Matthews at Drury College they'd won 2 NAIA national titles, and they'd given me a basketball scholarship, and I had to go there in June. I asked my dad to go with him. He said, you're making the choice. You do it yourself. That was a hard knock on the door to tell Coach I wasn't coming back.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah, I'm going to go play baseball.
I think you made the right choice, though.
Yeah, I did.
Swing and a miss, 1-1 to Cavalli. Oh, he struck out. Pardon me, fans.
Yeah, good hard breaking ball down, and it just got him to chase out front. Cavalli again trying to jump on the baseball.
So now that he is indeed struck out, Tyler Hardman, the designated hitter, comes up, another freshman in the lineup. Oh, you're doing another good job of kind of mixing in these young guys in in-state type games to get them some experience out there, and you just got to live with it. You just let them get in there and see what they can do, as you said earlier.
Well, there's one thing I'm always a firm believer on. You don't know if they're going to fail or succeed till you give them the chance to fail or succeed. You got to give them the opportunity.
These games are really important, as all games are. But we alluded to it a little bit earlier with Ryan Fulmer and even Rob Walton before him with ORU. These were not do-or-die games like they seem to be with previous coaching staffs.
Well, here's the deal. I don't think the RPI 2 years ago, Ryan Fulmer's team had the fourth toughest non-conference schedule of anybody in the country. But yet it wouldn't have mattered to the NCAA, who picked, you know, if you don't win your conference title,
yes,
it wasn't going to help Oral Roberts regardless of what their record was. And so I think that's why it's not a decreased interest by any means. It's more of a, we can still experiment. It's not an end-all to win these ball games anymore, where you thought before it helped your RPI so much, and it still does. Because it can hurt OU's RPI by losing.
So far, 7 strikeouts tonight for Varnell. His career high is 8 recently against Nebraska.
And it's much different losing to an Oral Roberts than it is, say, a smaller Central Arkansas or someone of that nature that's a lower mid-major, because the NCAA knows the success of an Oral Roberts program over time and how many times they've been in a region.
Swing and a miss.
Good changeup.
Way out in front of that. Strike 2 for Hardman. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Varnell's probably going to want to strike this guy out and not risk anything on the base path. Just strike him out and go sit down.
Threw the hard slider before, a big breaking ball, and got him on it in the dirt. See if he goes back to it. Moving away to the outer half of the plate. Fastball, able to fight it off.
Hardman stays alive.
Well, one of the hardest things for pitching coaches that call the pitches all the time is to outthink a hitter and have the trust of your pitcher that when I make this call, make that pitch for success. And you know, they're the guys studying the video. They're the ones trying to figure out these hitters for the past 2 days from Oklahoma.
Ground ball to short. Should be it. And it is. Pearson over to Kaiser. The Sooners take a seat, scoring nothing in that inning. Still leading 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th here in Tulsa. Looks like it's about 80 out. It isn't, but it's still comfortable enough. Let's go down to Eric Hansen.
Live from definitely not 80 degrees with head coach Ryan Fulmer. Coach, you got to like what you're seeing from Taylor Varnell on the mound tonight.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been really sharp. You know, the 2 runs that he gives up, 1 on an error and 1 on a walk. So as long as we limit mistakes, I think he's going to keep us in it. On the other end, you know, we got to be a lot better offensively. We got to put some more balls in play and have better at-bats.
Well, get their chance coming up next. Scott, George, back to you guys.
Thank you, sir. We got Cummings, Kaiser, and McCutcheon up. Pretty good threesome. Cummings has been fantastic this year. Last week batted 400 with a homer and 6 RBI. That earned him the Summit League Player of the Week.
I'm sure they're staying warm tonight.
Yeah. These guys are going, what are you talking about?
Smart,
cold?
aren't they? Yeah. Now, Coach Fulmer's done a heck of a job here after taking over for Rob Walton, who became the pitching coach at Oklahoma State University.
Noah batting .304 this year against righties. That one drops in for a strike.
You know, Rob and I used to kid each other, and Ryan, he plays hitter really well.
Yeah.
He plays hitter.
See the Sooners in the background. They're all bundled up. Really good crowd considering the chilly conditions. More so on the ORU side. They're awaiting a post-game fireworks show, but hopefully for them, ORU will put on a fireworks show offensively sometime during this game. Get back on the board. 2-1 now to Cummings. Out of blankets.
You got to watch a baseball game, be comfortable doing it, right?
Absolutely. Cummings skies one to right field down the line. His playable one's caught by Walker. One out. And brings up Riley Kaiser, who struck out looking in the first inning. ORU's one of those teams, they can be asleep for 4 innings, and all of a sudden one guy gets a single, and they're a very rally-prone team.
Well, last week against North Dakota, Coleman came in and shut them out. 5 2/3 innings, they had nothing. And then a big home run by the total to win it. So, I mean, it can happen quick.
Well, at least thus far, Tyler looks fantastic.
With a right-hander, good fastball slider mix. He'll show an occasional curve, but you can see the ball come out of the hand very good. It's 88 to 92 on most nights. He'll touch it 93 occasionally. But he has a very good hard slider and curveball to go with it. He's been in and out of the rotation this year for the Sooners. And it kind of expected. That midweek guy had been Wiles for a long time, and then he'd moved into the Sunday starter role. And so guys like Tyler, he's going to get that opportunity. So he's 7 appearances, 5 starts, 24 and a third, but he struck out 32. He does have that ability to punch out some hitters. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see Jake Terry, a Sand Springs graduate that had Tommy John, did not pitch his senior year. If you don't see him in the game tonight.
Kaiser takes a look close, but ball 1. What I like about Tyler is he has the same measurements I had in college. 6 feet, 195. I'm still 6 feet, but I'm not 195 anymore.
Yeah, that part goes away quick when you get older, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Yeah.
1-2 to Kaiser. Grounds down the third baseline foul.
He's staying alive pretty well.
The adventures in these midweek games usually begin when the bullpen comes out.
Once
the bullpen opens, it's all on.
And a lot of times, you may have a guy over the weekend that you had to stress out a little bit. The wind still kicked up in center field here. They say at 16 degrees, but on the field, Eric says it's howling.
So Eric wore short sleeves. I don't feel sorry for Eric.
Well, but that's a man.
He's from Minnesota, and so he was kind of bragging before the game. Look at me, I'm in short sleeves. I think now he's like, wait a minute, that wasn't so smart.
He's got on the heavy coat now. he got wise pretty quick.
1-2 and a long at bat by Riley Kaiser. Struck out looking. The second strikeout victim of the game by Tyler. That was in the first inning. Ended the first inning. Nice addition to the Golden Eagles this year. Probably the most significant addition. Batting in the cleanup spot. Doing a great job offensively. Doing a really good job behind the plate as well defensively.
2-time state champion, I believe, maybe 3-time state champion at Verdigris in high school, and then went to NEO for Roger Ward.
And that's a shot past short. Base hit for Kaiser. Gets past Zaragoza. And so Kaiser picks up the Golden Eagles' second hit of the game.
Well, he got a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Short guy in stature, so he's a good low ball hitter, and he's just able to pull it right down to the reach of Zaragoza into the outfield. And Cade Harris able to pick the ball off.
That'll bring up Trevor McCutcheon, the veteran. Feels like he's been here a lot longer than just a junior in status. He's had some injury issues and such, but anyway.
He's pretty good on the mound, too. It's not just with the bat, but the job he brings. Two-way players are nice.
McCutcheon, first pitch swinging. And put away by Zaragoza. 2 outs. Runner on first brings up Nick Rotola, who struck out swinging in the second inning. So Kaiser will stay parked at first base. And Rotola, who hit that home run over the weekend to knock North Dakota State off. That one.
Called a strike on a swing.
So it goes from 1-0 to 0-1.
Yeah, the first base umpire, Joe Brown, rang him up.
That is strikeout number. We'll get back to that. That is, yes. That's a base hit to right field, and now runners at first and second. Golden Eagles trying to manufacture something here. Big spot now for A.J. Archambault, the freshman from Bartlesville.
Rotola did a really nice job. Fastball away on the lower half of the strike zone. Just didn't try to do too much with it. Took it to right field. Steele Walker gets to the baseball in a hurry. That prevented Riley Kaiser from advancing and keeping Rotola right at first base.
First and second, 2 outs. A big spot for Archambault. He struck out looking in the second. I really don't have to look down at my scorebook. If somebody got, I can basically say they struck out, and I'm almost right all the time.
You're pretty close.
A lot of strikeouts tonight. Oh, and 1 to Archambault, and a pretty big spot for a freshman.
It is.
Against an in-state rival.
Well, here's the thing about it. High school, he probably hitting the 4-hole. He's been in this spot. Now just relax and slow the game down. Get a pitch you can hit.
And it gets past Dorenzo.
Well, it becomes even a bigger play now.
Second and third, 2 outs for the Golden Eagles as that one gets past Dorenzo.
Well, the AstroTurf, a lot of times you try to skip, but I think Dorenzo just got down late on this pitch, and it scooted right between the legs all the way to the back wall.
Take another look.
Yeah, Skip Johnson's going out to have a visit with his starting pitcher. That ball got right between it to the left of the glove and scooted all the way back. Everybody able to advance.
2 outs. Second and third, they're going to rule that a wild pitch.
Not surprising. Ball hits the dirt, gets advanced.
First wild pitch of the game for Tyler. And that's the crazy thing about especially college baseball. 1 minute you're down 2-0. You got a couple outs and nothing really cooking. And a few minutes later, here you are with second and third. Golden Eagles now tied with the Sooners, 3 hits each. The big difference, the Sooners have 2 runs to show for it.
Yeah, that walk in the air in right field advanced the runner. Otherwise, you're in a 1-0 ball game right now.
Archambault with an RBI on the season, batting less than 100 with very limited play. Fooled him way out in front. 1-2 now to the freshman from Bartlesville.
And more than likely, with just 3 pitches to get him out here, you're going to see a few sliders. After the effort by Archambault on the last slider.
Another freshman on deck is Brody Gibson, followed by another freshman, R.J. Pearson. So they're leaving it up to the freshmen right now to get ORU tied up or back in this game. High pitch. The run scores, and it's 2-1. Here comes another one. Play at the plate. Safe.
baseball.
Wow. A wild pitch high scores 2. And we're tied at 2.
Write that up. It almost looks like a cross-up. Dorenzo stayed down. The ball's going to shoot not that far away from him, but Dorenzo not even close. Tyler got smoked at the home plate area when they came in and slid. McCutcheon got him. And then the next play that came in, he put his glove down.
Ouch.
He is out. But unfortunately, the ball popped out of the glove and came off the hand as they came into the plate. You got a tie ball game.
And I'll tell you what, you're right. Tyler got it right in the shin. So he's going to try to walk it off. We're tied at 2. See it again.
This is the ankle shot, but it was just, I think the shot before got him more than anything. The glove just came off. Clean slide. 100% by Rotola, and the ball just popped out of him.
So they're going to allow Tyler to throw a few pitches just to get that. See what we're doing with the leg there. It looks okay.
Well, the biggest thing about your legs in a pitcher, if you have an injury and you start to sacrifice the throwing of motion of your arm, you end up hurting your arm because you're not using the lower half to throw with, just arm.
2-2 is the score after a bizarre play that scored 2 on a wild throw.
One more time. Here's the one I thought that got him right here. As the throw came in, he got pushed to the ground on the back, and then he got a shin beat up a little bit as he reached down to tag. I think not injured more than his ego, and a little frustrated right now that he threw a ball off the screen and only traveled 90 feet, and they got 2 runs out of it, and the ball wasn't put in play.
With his ankle bent in a very unusual motion as well.
2 strikes on your hitter.
And Archambault strikes out. Boy, if you're a Sooner, that's frustrating. A crazy play scores 2. Archambault goes down looking. And after 4, we're tied 2-2. Back after this. Another play at home plate. And Tyler doing a great job coming back and striking out Archambault on the next batter. But the damage was done. 2 runs score. And the Golden Eagles made this a ball game again. After 4, it's 2-2. Both have 3 hits. Both have 1 error. So we've solved nothing. Sitting in for George Frazier now, who's going to take a breather, is our athletic director, Mike Carter. Look at all those Ks, Mike. You love seeing that, right?
I like Ks, but as long as we're throwing the Ks.
Yeah. Generally, our fans put up our Ks.
Yeah.
We can trust that. So the Golden Eagles, Mike, this year, again, playing anybody and everybody who will face them. And again, having some good success as Dorenzo steps in.
Yeah, I like the way Ryan schedules. We're going to play it tough so that as we get down the stretch, we're primed and ready.
And a coach is not going to have his players talk about, hey, let's get to this College World Series. That's their goal. It's a very public goal. If you don't believe it's going to happen, you don't throw that out there. So they really do believe.
Yeah, they believe, and it's not something that you talk about because you just go through every day. You know, it's the old adage, it's pitch by pitch and catch by catch. And if you take care of business, you can get there. You start looking at the end result too soon, things get out of whack in a hurry.
Dorenzo walked in the 3rd and scored on one of the RBIs by Zaragoza. And Mike, we're told to look out the window. There we are. I don't know where that camera is. I'm just told to look out the window, so I'll do what I'm told. But anyway, there's a look at Mike joining us, the athletic director for ORU. And what a sense of pride you must have. You know, a lot of the programs at ORU have been very good, occasionally slipping a little, but baseball has just been there, hasn't it? Oh, every year.
Our coaches have just done a great job. We have great players, and when those seniors leave, they replenish the pile and just keep it going.
You know, it's amazing, as there's been Sonny Galloway, Rob Walton, now Ryan Fulmer, but the program stays constantly good. Even when coaches change, when players change, it's a testament to the reputation and just the overall quality.
Absolutely. You know, Oral made a huge commitment to baseball long ago, and you can tell that just by looking at this stadium. A lot of money was put into this because he really liked basketball and baseball, and he wanted to see us do well.
3-1 now. Swing and a miss, full count to Dorenzo.
It's amazing how many times this year that the walks have come back to bite us.
Yes. And we were talking earlier before you got here, ORU's been very streaky offensively on the offensive side. You'll get a 5 spot and then go the next 5 innings without scoring. So it's been a little bit hit and miss, but the pitching overall has been somewhat stable, but of late things are getting a little slippery. But, you know, the guys have done a good job getting back into first place in the Summit League, tied with Omaha, and winning a lot of these non-conference games.
Right. We just need to keep it going on both sides.
3-2, full count to Dorenzo. And he'll take a seat, or a walk, rather. In my head, I was thinking, take a seat, man, strike out. No.
That was that wishful thinking,
That's
Scott.
right. That's what they call that. So for the second time this game, the 9th hitter, batting 148, is on with a walk. That'll bring up the top of the order, Cade Harris, who doubled and scored in the 3rd. Harris is the gentleman we talked about in the pregame. Really nice, solid player. Can do it all. Runner on first, no outs for the Sooners. As the athletic director, when teams in the so-called Power 5 come to ORU to play, what a sense of pride, because also it's not that easy in some sports. With baseball, I mean, everybody comes here for the most part and will play anybody.
I think they recognize the quality of our baseball program, and they don't see that there's anything to lose. A win over ORU baseball is a good win. And if they lose to ORU baseball, it's not a bad win. So that's just the program having built its integrity to the point that the big schools have no problem coming here to play. And we'll go there to play.
Well, that's apparent in any sport, anywhere, anytime, right?
Right.
0-2 now to the leadoff hitter, Cade Harris, with Dorenzo on first. What's new in the athletic department? What projects are coming up? Because as an AD, there's always something on the drawing board, isn't there?
Well, we still have some work to do with the new tennis complex with the Burness Duke Tennis Center. We're raising money to build a scoreboard over there and honor Burness for his many years of coaching and dedication here. We've got some other projects going with new video boards in the Mabee Center, a new video board here at baseball. So we've got our work cut out for us.
It's amazing. I've been here almost 20 years, and if you look at the facilities and the quality of the program from them to now, it was great then, but it's super now.
Well, we're very blessed to have great friends in this city, great alumni that have taken care of us. And when we've had a need, they've come to the forefront and helped us. And I think that's evident by the One Oak Sports Complex with the new track and the tennis courts and the Case Soccer Complex and the new infield turf here at baseball. So there have been a lot of very good additions, but that's in thanks to our good friends and donors.
2-2 to Harris, ground ball to first, and they get the lead runner. He is out, 1 out, and Harris no throw at first. So Dorenzo takes a seat for the first out of the night, and Harris is on first. So same situation, just now with 1 out.
Yeah, that was not just a real easy play. There was no chance of turning 2, but he did a good job of getting the lead runner.
Mike, you played a little baseball in your past, right? A little bit of everything.
Like
a small town high school.
Yeah, when you grow up in a town of 500, you're playing basketball and baseball, and baseball was my sport. My dad was a catcher at Oklahoma State years ago, back in the 40s, and he wanted us to play baseball, so that's what we did. When I moved to Pawhuska, I found golf, and baseball kind of fell off after that, but I've always loved baseball.
Brandon Zaragoza walked in the first and singled in the 3rd. So he's been on base both times he's in at bat. Sophomore batting .299, 15 RBI, no homers. And we certainly don't want to see any homers here with a runner on first. Golden Eagles tied it up 2-2 in the last inning. So a whole new ball game for Varnell as he fakes over to first. You know, you look at Oklahoma and ORU. We were talking earlier, Mike. So many Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas players. Neither one of these programs really needs to go too far to find quality.
No, years ago, before a lot of the NCAA transfer rules came in, we had a lot of California kids, Arizona kids, but the talent in Oklahoma has just got a lot better in recent years, and our coaches have done a good job of recruiting that talent and then developing that talent. I mean, it's pretty evident when you got guys up the middle at catcher and shortstop that are local kids.
Yeah, winning Johnny Bench awards.
Exactly. We've got a freshman shortstop tonight from Tahlequah.
0-1 to Zaragoza. He's a double play away from taking a seat, and the Golden Eagles going down to the bottom of the fifth. Tied up. Mike, as an athletic director, when the so-called Power Five, especially those local, the Oklahomas, Oklahoma States, what is that like for you as an AD? How badly do you want to beat these other programs?
Well, I want to beat them, but we have to be realistic. Their budgets in some cases are 10 times the size of ours. So what they have the ability to do in recruiting and provide facilities, it's a great move right there.
Play. Over the second for the out, caught him napping. And Harris takes a seat, 2 outs now.
Great play.
You want to do the replay here?
Yeah, that's a great play. Throw to first and throw to second.
Just keep it simple. That's how it works, right?
Keep it simple. We got him leaning, and that was that.
So 2 outs now, 1-1 count still to Zaragoza, but nobody out. Nice play, catch. Base. You betcha.
Great catch.
Hernandez makes the catch, and that is it, just like that. Nothing on the board for our friends from Oklahoma. We'll take a break, be back after this. We're tied 2-2. Baseball. Let's go down now to Eric Hansen. Eric.
Thanks, Scott. And on this day in college baseball history, it was 2005, and a doubleheader sweep of Chicago State saw one of my fellow teammates, Dennis Bigley of Oral Roberts Baseball, hit 2 home runs in Game 1, then turn around and throw a no-hitter, the 5th in program history in Game 2, with a 16-0 win.
Thank you, Eric. Dennis was a great player. Mike could throw the ball like lightning on the mound and then hit the heck out of it. He's just a great two-way player.
He's one of our Hall of Famers, and Dennis was back this past year. It was great to see him and his dad here at our Hall of Fame ceremonies. He's doing really well. Dennis is one of the really good guys.
You know, that really proves just how difficult it is to break into the major leagues. Look at this guy, Bigley. He was fantastic, and still, man, it's just so tough. I mean, one little injury, and that can set you off.
Yeah. Got a lot of talent out there.
Yes. So Tyler looks okay after the home plate collision. He's going to face Brody Gibson. Another good find, Mike. Another good local guy that signed with ORU.
Exactly. Another freshman. These freshmen are getting experience. They'll be that much better next year. I know Ryan's not a big fan of having freshmen in what he calls the middle positions at catcher, shortstop, second base, and center field. But sometimes injuries push you into that situation, and sometimes guys play their way into that situation. So I'm proud of these guys.
Gibson getting some meaningful at-bats this year as he skies that one down the right field line. It is caught by Walker. We expected a lot of home runs tonight before the game. With that wind, you look at the flag, and no one has been able to get there.
Well, it's just so cold that it's hard to compress the ball, I think. But you'd think somebody's going to get one up in the air that would be at normal, kind of reasonable distance.
Yes.
Fly ball to right field, and the wind's going to carry.
Now, I haven't been outside since the game started. You were out there. You obviously made it over here. I'm taking your word for it. It's still chilly out there, right?
It hasn't
had a warm front come through, or
no? It has not warmed up. Grand Slam room is packed.
At nights like this, make the Grand Slam Club well worth it.
Exactly.
R.J. Pearson, the freshman shortstop, he struck out looking in the third. And he's been struggling offensively, but yet another freshman. The only way to get him better is to get him in there.
Well, the biggest thing for these freshmen is seeing curveballs. In high school, they'll see a few, but not many. Most of it's fastballs. And now it's just a heavy dose of curveballs to freshmen.
2-1 to Pearson. Batting ninth, he'll bring up the top of the order in Nick Rourke after this at bat. Good ball game so far, tied at 2 midway through. Sometimes conference games can get a little bit out of hand, but these non-conference games against Power 5s are fun to watch. And it's amazing ORU baseball has winning records against a lot of these really good teams. But yet they keep coming back, which is a testament. You know, Oklahoma, I guess when you're in state, you don't want to tell an ORU no, but yet they don't really have to play like Arkansas, right? They can just walk away. And what do you think?
Well, everybody's trying to get to 56 games, and to get there, you've got to play somebody, and you want to play good quality competition. When the OUs, the OSUs, Wichita States play us, they know that they're going to face good pitching. Their pitchers are going to face good hitters, so it's better than an inter-squad scrimmage or better than playing a D2 team.
Absolutely. Strikeout number 8 for Tyler as Pearson goes down swinging. And that'll bring up the top of the order with Nick Rourke. He has been on base both times with a single and a walk, has not scored. Rourke up the middle, relatively easy play for Mendenhall. Throws to Cavalli, and that's it. 3 up, 3 down for the Golden Eagles. We're tied at 2 after 5. We'll be back for the second half of this game right after this. Next time we see ORU live on TV or the internet, it'll be Friday the 13th. Yikes. Friday the 13th, the Golden Eagles take the field with Fort Wayne. The Mastodons first pitch at 6:30 at J.L. Johnson. You can see it streamed live at ESPN3 or watch it locally on KGEB. Or come down and buy a dang ticket, right?
Yeah, buy a ticket, come back and hang out a little bit, right?
Oh, George is back.
Hey, Mike did a good job.
He's terrific, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got some
I can't read his writing.
Well,
I'm teasing you.
The book, you're kind of on your own.
I'm teasing you. That was awesome.
So back in action now. Steele Walker will lead things off for the Sooners. Steele has struck out swinging both times. He was strikeout victim number 1 and victim number 5.
Well, he and Murray struck out 4 times now between the two of them. They're sitting here getting ready to swing the bats. In this situation, Varnell's still on the hill, still throwing well. Just 3 hits apiece. Cold night. Still a very nice job of pitching by both guys.
You like these kind of games, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's a well-pitched game. And you see this, you see plays made. I had a double play by the Sooners early in the ball game. That was able to get Kyle Tyler out of an inning. That's you just like to see clean baseball.
1, 2, 3, let's get him. Here you go.
That one dribbles away. 2-0 to Walker. Walker has 3 homers, 21 RBI, and this will be pitch number 100 for Varnell. Now the weather's cold. He pitches once a week, so does that give you a little more leeway?
Well, it does. I mean, pitch count wise, you should be fine. I think that's it. 5th straight outing for Varnell to have 7 or more strikeouts in a ball game. It tells you the command, the good fastball and curveball mix that he's able to use to work through an inning.
And it's great if you have a taxed bullpen from the 3-game weekend series sometime, as he gives up the walk to Walker. Yes. It's nice to have a Tuesday guy who's just reliable. He's not some scrub you're bringing in.
Right, no question. You're running a guy out here that knows exactly what he's doing. I mentioned this early in the telecast, what a big advantage it is for Oral Roberts to have a Tuesday starter like a Varnell that can come in, and when you get into tournament play, if you happen to lose, as Oral Roberts did a year ago, you've got a pretty good guy you're running out there in game 4.
That brings up Kyler Murray. His story is just amazing. The endurance, because he's not just on the baseball team or on the football team. He's the likely starting quarterback in the fall for the Sooners. And he's the cleanup hitter on the baseball team.
And think about this, it's not just any football team. It's a top 10, top 5 football team in the country that he's doing this for. And the time and energy that is put into the quarterback meetings with Riley, and then everything you've got to put into that, and then come and try to get prepared to play baseball and help your Sooner baseball team win games, and he's been able to do that.
Just a sophomore. Can he do this for 3 years?
Well, that's the question. I think a lot of people think that he might take a shot at pro ball during the summer and then come back and play football in the fall.
which has, people do that.
Well, you know, Russell Wilson was pretty good at it with the Rockies, and then he decided to go NFL. I think that's probably the right choice. Just 2 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowls and a couple of rings. And he doesn't prototype. He's not a prototype NFL quarterback at 5'10", 5'11".
Right. He steps up and was zing by 3-0.
Though when you run a 4.3 40, you get attention to get the ball in your hands in a lot of different ways.
There's some action in the ORU bullpen. As we said, Varnell's gone over 100 pitches. We're in the top of the 6th. That is not the action.
Brady Womack is the action. He was so hiding over behind the wall right now. He'll be back.
He'll be back. 3-1 to Kyler Murray. With Steele Walker on first after the walk. First guy on base in the inning. With no outs, you always know that guy's got a good chance of scoring. We'll see if Varnell can shut things down. Maybe get a ground ball here. Runners at first and second. 2 walks. Does that always tell you a guy is tired, or could that just say he's trying to fine-tune it?
If the ball gets up in the zone, typically you're starting to get a little tired. Legs get tired, the ball rises in the strike zone. Don't ask me why. It's just been going on for a very long time.
And
Wes Davis is going to make the move down to the bullpen. You see Joe Brown headed out to bring a new right-hander in here.
And neither your eyes nor my eyes are sharp enough to see. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll find out who the new reliever is for the Golden Eagles. Back after this. We're back at J.L. Johnson Stadium, tied at 2. One position ORU is very deep at is relief pitcher. Let's go down to Eric.
Yeah, guys, and you at home watching are about to see something a little bit special, in my opinion. And Brady Womack's back on the mound for Oral Roberts this season. Brady, of course, sat out all last year with an elbow injury, had that surgically repaired. And in my experience, it reminds me of old ORU starter Jerry Sullivan, who spent some time here, just in his body makeup and how he delivers the ball. And honestly, how it looks so easy and casual coming out. But, man, that thing hits his release point, and it's nothing short of special, especially when he's hitting that low part of the zone with his fastball and mixing it up with the change.
Yeah, pretty good slider to go along with that. And the reason he's brought into this position to face Skip Johnson and his Oklahoma Sooners is for one reason. He can strike out somebody. In 11 innings, he's punched out 15. He's only given up 9 hits over that span. He's given up 1 home run. The opposition's hit just 220. So you want to have a shutdown guy coming out of your pen, and this is one of those guys that could shut you down.
So Varnell takes a seat after pitching almost 7 innings. He had 7 strikeouts. So a nice performance tonight by Varnell. And now it'll be up to Womack to stop the bleeding with runners at first and second for the Sooners and no outs. Briley Ware will take his cuts first. Ware has flown out to center field and singled in the 4th. So from Varnell to Womack, and again, as we mentioned, that basically 3-headed ORU bullpen. Womack's one of those. As far as late inning guys, Womack's probably coming in a little earlier than normal.
There have been 2 outings where he's worked multiple innings. So he'll get a chance to do that right here.
So when a guy in Womack's case, in the old days, used to come in and be the closer, then, you know, he got hurt and there were some changes. How difficult does it matter that it's only the 6th inning?
It's the mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, you realize, basically it's the 9th inning to him. He's got first and second and 2 guys on, and in a 2-2 ball game. And the mindset, get out of this inning any way I can.
So it feels like it might as well be the 8th or the 9th. It's the same situation.
Yeah, mentally you just say it's a high-stress inning right now.
The bunt's laid down foul.
Breaking ball is one of the harder balls to try to bunt, the 12-6 curveball. Not as much as it is the slider, because it sometimes can move on the same plane of the bat, but a hard curveball is hard to bunt.
Walker at second. Murray at first. Ware up 0-2. Boy, would Womack like a ground ball here.
Yeah, ground ball, strikeout. Any way you want to get that first out when you enter the ball game. Setting up away on the outside corner. With curveball, got strikeout. Fell behind, and when you do that, falling behind as a hitter on 2 straight breaking balls, it really puts you on the back door. He's going to have a quick conversation too with Mendenhall to give the idea of what these pitches are doing. But Mendenhall's your big RBI guy.
Yes.
So you're looking to move guys into scoring position so he can have the shot to try to knock one in. He's 0 for 2, flown out and grounded out.
Big spot for Mendenhall, leading the team in RBI with 26, batting a very respectable .304. So a big situation for Womax.
Like I said, 16 punch outs in 11 and third innings. You bring him in to get guys out.
And that's a base hit to left field. Runner coming home. The throw, and he'll be safe. So Walker scores on the RBI by Mendenhall. Mendenhall did his job.
That's what he does. That's just a very professional hitter. He'll pick up his 27th RBI. And he's got a breaking ball. That's 4 straight from Womack. And he shoots it through that left side. And then a strong throw, a really strong throw from the freshman in the outfield, A.J. Archambault, just up the first base line. Walker's picking it up and putting it down and able to stand up and score.
Sooners up 3-2 in the top of the 6th. Murray moves over to second. Mendenhall at first, still just 1 out. And Cade Cavalli up. Cavalli has struck out twice. This time he shoots one to center. The out is made, and the runners will hold. So Cavalli takes a seat. That'll bring up Tyler Hardman with 2 outs.
Yeah, nice ball. That's hit square on the nose, but caught by very good job by Rotolo in center field. And get the baseball and know who your base runners are. With Murray at second base, not likely to tag, but may try to test the arm anyway, and so you got to get rid of it in a hurry.
That's a tough test against that arm of Rotolo's. Hardman, the designated hitter, he's having a rough night. A strikeout and a ground out. He chops that one foul. Very, very important for Womax to minimize the damage here to 1 run.
Well, when you come in, nobody out, first and second, you minimize things to a 0. You've done your job 10 times over.
This inning started with a walk to Steele Walker, then a walk to Kyler Murray, then the RBI by Mendenhall. To third, 3 outs. Good job by Womax coming in and minimizing the damage, but the Sooners take the lead 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 6th. Back after this. It says 50 on the thermometer. It does not say 50 from this picture right here. There's a brisk wind out of the north. And let's go down now to Eric Hansen, who can testify to that chill.
Yeah, it's a lot colder than what you guys are experiencing right now in the booth. I don't see those heaters and hand warmers from this angle, but that wind's still blowing in on the infield. I can feel it against the back of my neck right now, but it's still a good ball game going on. Lots to watch, and I'll tell you what, I'd be curious to see if OU sticks their guns here or dips into the pen in the later innings.
Eric, you're from Minnesota, right? What happened to the short sleeves from earlier?
No, I hate to disappoint you, sir. I am not a Gopher. I'm a proud Hoosier from the great state of Indiana.
Are you serious?
And
same thing.
Same. In the words of the wise, you take care of the equipment, right? So we threw the jacket on for these later innings. We don't need to break anything down here.
You're not nearly as manly as I thought. I'm just telling you.
I have a wedding ring on. I got nothing left to prove, gentlemen.
All right, for the Golden Eagles now in the bottom of the 6th, it'll be Hernandez, Cummings, and Kaiser. Great chance to get something on the board here with the 2, 3, and 4 up, George.
It is. 3 hits so far in the ball game. Those 3 hits, 2 of them coming back in the 3rd inning. So it is important now. Hernandez will ground out to the second baseman, Mendenhall, who came up with a big hit for the Sooners in the last inning for the first out.
Little bobble, but the out is made. 1 down, and Cummings coming up. Cummings has had a quiet night, grounding out and flying out. And our guy on the mound, Tyler, is only at 75 pitches. So he's got some time out there still if he wants. He's just pitching a great game.
He is. He's really hadn't had any kind of a high-stress inning other than when he had a couple of hits and a walk and he had the wild pitch, let 2 runs in. Outside of that, he's pitched very, very well.
Cummings fouls it off. Grounded to third and then flew out. And I'm still a little bit amazed. I guess doesn't make any sense. A little bit amazed, but you look at that flag. I can't believe nothing's gotten out of the park yet.
Well,
maybe the pitching's so good.
Yeah, cold night. I mean, today the air was so heavy this morning.
Yes,
that's why you had the fog. But the cool temperatures. You know, the ball doesn't travel that much in cool temperatures. But we've seen 2 balls hit the center that Rotella has gone back to catch, and they were a long ways from the fence. And watching in batting practice, they were flying out of here like candy. They're getting out in a hurry.
When you pitched in New York on a cold night, did you have a little extra confidence? Like, I think I can keep the ball at least in the park tonight.
Well, I just tried to run on their hands. Just take away the bigger part of the bat, sweep part of the bat. I want to take that away from the hitter. So if I could run it in across the top of the hands, get it off the end of the bat with a slider, then you stayed pretty comfortable. I just didn't like for guys to get solid swings on you.
Strike called against Cummings.
A lot of confidence in his breaking ball when behind in count.
2-2 with 1 out. Golden Eagles trailing by a run in the bottom of the 6th. Well played game so far. Golden Eagles benefited from a little bit of chaos at home plate, though, in the 4th. And that's where the 2 runs came from.
Yeah, they started throwing the ball around everywhere and made a big difference.
You can tell that Dorenzo, the catcher, he's learning, isn't he?
He is.
He's had some experiences tonight.
Yeah, Levi Prater, the guy, the left-hander, and then Hanson, the right-hander.
Big shot to left. And the catch is made. Hard to see from here. It looked like the catch was made, but I paused just a minute. Deep drive, but no cigar for Cummings.
Well, Cade Harris, very good athlete in left field. Talked about it. Can play short second and does a pretty good job in left. He got back on this ball and made a little bit of a jump right at the last second to get it on the track.
2 outs. It'll bring up Riley Kaiser. He has one of ORU's 3 hits tonight, and he actually scored in the 4th. Struck out in the 1st looking. Kaiser first pitch swinging out of bounds. Foul. 8 strikeouts on the night for Tyler. And ORU hasn't really done much of anything. Hasn't had a hit since the 4th inning. A post-game fireworks crowd on hand, waiting for something big to happen.
Yeah, 2 fastballs in a row. Appeared to be Kaiser looking for a breaking ball on the 0-1 count. Pretty good swing on it, though.
Kaiser played catcher most of the early part of the season. Lately, he's played first. I wonder how much he likes getting out of the gear for a little while.
Well, I'm sure it is good. I mean, with the injuries and the guys banged up over there, they've done that with him. He went back to the cut fastball and he chased it out of the zone for a strikeout.
Strikeout number 9 for Tyler as Kaiser takes a seat. Take a break. Be back right after this. Sooners up 3-2 after 6 innings. ORU baseball on KGEB, brought to you in part by Le Madeleine French Bakery and Cafe. That sounds delicious right now. Located Tulsa Hill Shopping Center, 71st and 75, Highway 75. Also sounding really good right now, Roots Java, the African Bean Company. Quality beans and superior roasting. I bet everybody in this stadium would like to order a bag of their hot coffee right now. Order online at rootsjava.com. George, you and I should try that. Wouldn't that be great? Get the
you
2
know
announcers.
Here's what I want to do. I want you to go try it and let me know how it worked out.
Oh, okay.
You and Eric's already down there, so you can jump in with it. But one of them got smoked pretty good.
Eric's in shape and I am not, so I think that's an unfair battle.
Yeah, she had a little tough time there. She got hit pretty good.
As we move into the top of the 7th, it's Dorenzo leading off, the catcher. Kind of learning on the job by fire a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Dorenzo's one of these guys, freshman year was all world, and then surgery and everything got slowed down. It took time for him to get back on the field again. Last year, mostly right field. Didn't get behind the plate hardly at all because of the elbow injury and surgery. And then this year, it's been kind of split time DH right. Tremendous power. I mean, tremendous power in his bat. A freshman All-American.
Final line on Varnell. He threw 104 pitches over 5+ innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. Pretty good night for Varnell.
Well, anytime, I go back to, you do remember things when you're old. But 50 years ago, my high school coach said, if you give up 3 or less, we ought to win that ball game. We'll figure out a way to do it. And Varnell did his job tonight.
He did. Now the bad news. Sooners are 18-0 and leading after 6 innings.
You're not supposed to look that up yet.
Well, I did. Some guy put it in front of me. I got to honor him by reading it.
Fire him. Well, they have, as much as the ORU ball club has a lockdown bullpen, the University of Oklahoma has one likewise. Right choice there for York to come over and make the play on the baseball. Better angle on the ball.
He chuckles now. That was a bit of an adventure.
Well, a bit of adventure for everybody, yeah. I mean, he's over on it. You got to remember the wind. This ball's hit very high in the air. And Kaiser's saying, I got it. Well, maybe I don't. Why don't you go ahead and take it?
Yep.
As high as that was hit, he actually thought he had a shot at it. Yep. Wes Davis will go down to the bullpen, and again, they limit things the way they do it here. I mean, Womack's never gone more than an inning plus, so they'll go down to the bullpen and bring in Larkins, who pitched the other day and did a nice job for him. Colton Larkins, the junior.
Yeah, Colton's been very good this year. We're going to take a break with Larkins coming in to pitch for the Golden Eagles. Sooners with 3-2 lead in the 7th. Back after this. A transfer from Crowder College from Lee Summit, Missouri, 6 feet, 175-pound junior. On the year, he is 1-1 with a 3.6 ERA in 9 appearances. 15 innings pitched. He's allowed 14 hits. He has struck out 16. And he's kind of their mid guy.
Well, low 3/4 guys, more of deceptive than anything. Crowder located in Neosho, Missouri, just south of Joplin. We Summit up by the Kansas City area. Now you give you a geography lesson for the night. Here's the tough guys. They're hanging out. They got on the sweatshirts. They got on the heavy coats. They got on the cute hats. And then you have the students wanting to look pretty, so they're just they're freezing, but God, they look good.
And they're fighting to stay alive for those fireworks.
Exactly.
Larkins has put in some really nice performances this year as that kind of the middle reliever guy.
Well, you can win or lose a ball game in the 9th, but you can also lose it in the 7th and 8th.
Sure.
So you've got to have very good bullpen depth right in the middle of a ball game to come in and have shutdown stuff happen for you. And that's pretty much what ORU did with Womack. He shut the inning down.
That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Cade Harris, who we talked about in the pregame, just steady as can be in the top 20 now all time in walks. Just finds a way to get on base, hitting .310 tonight. He has gotten on base twice, a double in the 3rd and scored, and fielder's choice in the 5th.
Dogs are barking. You have the shin guard, protects the ankle bone in your shin, but nothing for the big toe. Everything just went numb.
So they're not wearing steel-toed boots up there is what you're telling me.
No. The only catcher I knew that ever wore those was Tony Pena, wore steel-toed
Really?
shoes. Yeah, because he lost his toenails on both big toes.
Oh, my gosh.
From foul tips, and he said, okay, I'm done. So he went and had some steel-toed shoes made, and he caught in them these last 3 or 4 years.
Probably didn't make him the fastest guy around.
No,
3-2 Sooners. We're going to put a couple more on in the top of the 7th.
Big sweeping slider, tough to stay there and put a good swing on it.
1-2 to Harris.
Probably just thinking along with Wes Davis and Ryan Fulmer, Larkins probably would get these next 2 hitters, even though Zaragoza is right-handed, to finish out the inning instead of trying to match everything up. The Golden Eagles have a right-hander going in their bullpen, but that's probably for Kyler Murray. You don't want to burn up too many left-handers, so then you have Zaragoza, you got the left-handed Walker.
Swing and a miss. Harris takes a seat. That is out number 2. And it'll bring up Zaragoza. First strikeout of the night for Harris. And first strikeout for Larkins.
Yeah, big sweeper. Took it to the outside corner with the slider. Took away all the strength in the swing to eliminate that. Zaragoza does have an RBI tonight, 299 on the season. He started out hitting a .188 in their first 8 games. He has been hot since.
Just a sophomore.
Came out of the Moore area in high school, played with it against a young man by the name of Usselton, who went in the sandwich pick. Another big right-hander. Holden Cook was over in that area.
Pretty well played game, except for a little bit of the chaos that happened when ORU scored his 2 runs, but only 7 hits total, a couple of errors.
An error by both teams, but other than that, I mean, cool night, throwing strikes and just see how far you can hit it. Let's get after it. 2 very good teams playing baseball here tonight.
Yeah, we mentioned the Sooners earlier, off to a 20-10 start. Are you surprised 6-0 in Big 12 play, 20-10 overall, that they haven't been ranked?
I am a little bit, and it goes back to the teams you're beating and that kind of thing. You know, they took 2 out of 3 from Kennesaw State. They were able to sweep Baylor. They go to TCU this weekend, so that's going to be a test on the road for them. TCU not having the year they normally have, but yet it's still TCU. That got him.
How does that feel on a cold night?
Not good.
So Zaragoza gets hit, and he'll advance to first with 2 outs, and it'll bring up Steele Walker.
This will make you dance a little bit. Took it right off the, well, he did his fiberglass shin guard.
That doesn't hurt,
such a big deal. No.
Shake it off. Rub some dirt on the fiberglass and get after it. Yeah, there's no dirt. Our director, Mike Zubek. Hey, man, there's no
there's
director.
dirt, but you got to go search for it. Like
Yeah.
pull up some grass out in the outfield or something. I know putting this in was a major deal for Oral Roberts University and the University of Oklahoma, which has an all-turf field now.
There's nothing fun about mowing grass 4 times a week.
Well, but that's right. And the maintenance and savings it gives you over time, in 10 years, the fertilizer, the grass, and the care, and the upkeep, and gasoline, and everything else, it's paid for itself.
And the time doing other things than mowing grass.
That's right. Steele Walker got after this. Hanging, breaking
fly ball. Caught at the wall by Cummings. Take another look.
Well, a big swing on a breaking ball. Walker thought he might have got it. The wind, the way this thing's blowing, and Cummings just found his way to the wall. You can see that wind move the ball back towards center field by about 6-8 feet. The Sooners on top in this one, 3-2.
Eagles trailing 3-2. A couple of innings left to try to get her done. Or you'll be on the road this week at Western Illinois in Macomb. Then they'll return the favor to the Sooners on April 11th when they play at Oklahoma. You should be able to get some tickets and head down to Norman. That should be a good game. From what we've seen tonight, it'll be a great game. Trevor McCutcheon will lead things off for the Golden Eagles, followed by Rutola and Archambault. Now, George, when you look at the batting order tonight for the Golden Eagles, the last 3 guys are all freshmen, batting 80, 200, 217. How difficult is it to get a rally going when you've got that bottom part of the order? You're going to be struggling.
Just trust them. You know, lay down a bunt. Do something to jinx some things here. I mean, that's Fulmer's got him in the lineup because he believes they can do a job. And so that freshman's going to have to step up, be a little more patient. You've seen it for 3 times. The nerves have dropped back down again. He's got a guy on the mound that's done a pretty good job for the Sooners tonight.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, Kyle Tyler's been really good. Hansen warms up down in the bullpen now for the Sooners.
McCutcheon has walked and flew out to center field.
And basically, you haven't seen a loss in velocity for Kyle Tyler. He utilized that earlier to get the strikeout, previous strikeout at the end of the inning against Kaiser. He's still pulling pretty hard.
McCutcheon rakes one to left or right field, hits the ground, so it's fair, and it's in play for a double.
Well, there's a guy everybody's talking about struggling, but guess what? They got a breaking ball on the inner half of the plate, and he took care of business. Really good swing by Trevor McCutcheon.
Extra base hit by Trevor leads things off. And if they say when you get on first with no outs, the leadoff guy scores. When you get on second, even a much better chance. And he's in scoring position with Rotolo coming up.
Well, let's see how they handle this. I think Coach Fulmer will play for the win at home because you get the bat in the ninth, but I think I can see him trying to advance the runner. Rotolo, very good speed at the plate. He'll try to raid down a bunt and advance on it.
He loves hitting lefties. .429 this year against left-handed pitchers.
Cavalli at first base. Played shortstop in high school. They'll both be even with the bag. We'll see how they try to hold things on. Saragosa will get the bunt call defensively of where all the Sooners will be.
Rotolo probably hoping someone would come in from the bullpen, as he's now still facing a right-hander in Tyler. Drops down the bunt. Foul. That's a big number.
Against the left-hander, he's throwing the bat well. Right-handers, we'll see what happens in this at-bat. Previously, Rotolo has struck out. Of course, he's singled and scored one of the 2 runs for the Golden Eagles so far in the ball game.
Runner in scoring position, the tying run at second base, 0-1 to Rotolo with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. Rotolo drops it down. Nice. Quick play at first as Mendenhall or Cavalli holds on, and Rotolo gets the sacrifice, but it moves the runner to third.
Well, you see the breaking ball again. It hung, but Rotolo laid down a pretty good bunt. They told Kyle Tyler get out of the way. The momentum of Ware coming from third makes it easier for him to make that play. McCutcheon will make the turn look to make sure the play gets completed at first.
And Archambault now is going to get pinch hit for Alex Schmitz in the game. We've seen him do this a couple of times this year. Schmitz batting .273, 22 at bats. So about a quarter number of at bats, and now there's going to be a conference at the mound with this situation.
Well, I think they're going to go to Alec Hansen, Hansen, the right-hander who comes out of their bullpen. This guy's got a big curveball and fastball, and we'll talk about it when we get back.
We'll see if Schmitz can handle it. ORU trailing 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Back from Tulsa right after this. It sounds like the circus is coming to town, and there will be a little feel of that once this game's over. A fireworks show presented by your home team. But that's still several innings away. And OU is finally changing pitchers. It'll be Austin Hansen with that gaudy 1.08 ERA. And George, you said he's tough to handle.
He is. Big hook. Austin out of the Kansas City area also. I want to apologize to Mom and Dad. Called him Alec. That was the guy that was a sandwich pick a couple of years ago. The big 6'7" right-hander now with the White Sox. But Austin Hansen is a guy that can get on top. Very good curveball. He'll run in the 78 to 83 mile an hour range. He also has a fastball that can get up to basically into the 92 to 95 mile an hour range when rested.
So Schmitz has had success as a pinch hitter, 3 for 4 this year as a pinch hitter.
You always have that one guy you trust. This is one that Fulmer trusts in this situation.
So after the sacrifice by Rotolo, there's a runner at third in McCutcheon and only one out. Are you pretty good in pinch hitting situations this year, batting .429.
Well, bad throw by Dorinto.
Gotta watch that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, good job by Hansen. He just kind of fell down. It's you got a guy with a bum arm back there, or has had surgery. That ball, they didn't even get back to the mound.
Schmitz from Metro Christian, redshirt sophomore. Fouls that one off. There have been some interesting players in big situations tonight.
With Hansen, I think the one thing you want to watch a little bit, 4 wild pitches, that leads the Sooner staffs. I mean, it all goes back to the good curveball that he has. And a lot of times he'll overamp it, and when he does, the break is so strong with the velocity that the ball gets by you.
And he has a catcher who's not particularly seasoned at that as much. Could be interesting.
And we got ahead here in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes with fastball. This text from a scout here today that Hansen was 94 on that fastball.
Coming in cold off the bench to face that. Schmitz.
Went for that fastball away and took it out of the zone.
Barely. 2-2 to Schmitz. Pinch hitting for Archambault. Brody Gibson on deck. So all freshmen here. Once we get through Schmitz, it'll be Gibson and Pearson, assuming they come to bat. That just locked him up, didn't it?
That's a no-fun curveball. Just doesn't play well with others. It's just nasty.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just take, what do you want me to do? I mean, you take the bat and head back to the dugout. That's just really, really good. You'll go to the bench again, or you will. You'll go down and...
looks like Jack Rosenberg.
Yeah, got it. Again, here's another guy with a lot of power.
Rosenberg has struggled as far as average goes, but he definitely has pop in the bat. Batting 158. He started 16 of 18 games that he's appeared in. 4 homers with 7 RBI. Big situation for Rosenberg.
And it's one of the harder things to do in this type of temperatures, to come off the bench in this cold weather and get as loose as you can, because all the indoor stuff here to get loose is over behind the left field line. Tough to run across there, get loose, and then come back in case you might pinch hit.
Rosenberg, a junior transfer from Moore Park College in Thousand Oaks, California. Runner on third, 2 outs.
Man, what a pretty area, Thousand Oaks, California. Gorgeous.
Rosenberg behind 0-2 with Pearson possibly on deck. Stays alive.
And Ryan Fulmer has praised Rosenberg's strength. He's an awfully strong young man that can drive the baseball, and he has exhibited that through the course of the year. The average obviously isn't what he would like for it to be. There's no question. But he does have the big power with 4 home runs and 7 RBIs.
Strikeout swinging. Rosenberg takes a seat. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for Hansen. And we go to the top of the 8th. Golden Eagles trailing 3-2. Early night in Tulsa, awaiting some post-game fireworks, and maybe some fireworks left in this game, as the Sooners lead ORU 3-2 as we go to the top of the 8th.
Townsend's going to come into the ballgame for Oral Roberts. Big arm, 90 to 94 miles an hour with a nasty slider that he can run to the outer half of the plate. And he's been off to a very good year so far for the Golden Eagles. 26 innings pitched. He leads the club in strikeouts with 38. And he's only walked 8, given up 16 hits. The opposition has hit 178 against. So this is part of that lockdown bullpen Scott talked about earlier for the Golden Eagles.
Kaiser will move over to catcher, ending Brody Gibson's night. But Townsend is, on most teams, he'd be the closer, wouldn't he, with stats like that?
He would be. And I think only because if you having Stout down in your bullpen, just a nice luxury to have that many arms sitting down in your bullpen and being able to close out games and dominate the way they do, because they do a very good job with it.
Now, did that guy have an Astros shirt 3 or 4 years ago?
Probably not. There's
No.
Coach Foster right there to the left. The coach that was in uniform, Coach Foster's earlier talked about him, and he was the coach for Brody Gibson and a number of guys that are out playing at the collegiate level right now. Dylan Bierman, one of those, starting for Johnson County, a very good pitcher.
So Murray will lead off the 8th. He has struck out looking, struck out swinging, if I can get that out, and he walked. He's stranded at second.
Okay, you got one job to do right now, and that is just come in and have shutdown innings. No other way. There's Coach Foster, talking about him with his Metro hat on. Long-time coach here in the Tulsa market and area, and has great success. Won a state championship last year at Metro.
Murray very compact, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, he wears the pants like the football wide receiver pants above the knee. The whole, he and well, there's a few guys doing it now. Cavalli's doing it. Here's the overall numbers for Townsend we spoke of. Very good earned run average. And a lot of strikeouts so far for the Golden Eagles, 38 and 26. That leads the staff with those 38 strikeouts.
He's a transfer from Central Arizona College from Lake Tapps, T-A-P-P-S, Lake Tapps, Washington.
Where's that?
I don't know.
I'm going to say it's outside of Seattle.
You bluffed me on the Texas thing earlier.
I did bluff you. I knew it.
All right, so you're telling me your phone's going to ring and someone from Lake Tapps is going to go,
my phone's over there. I'm over here. I'm not touching anything.
So it'll just come to you.
Lake Tapps, Washington, I think, is right up by Seattle.
Because Seattle's the only city in Washington you know.
Oh, nice play.
Grounded it short, and he beats it up. Yeah, that's a tough play.
Yeah, with Murray running, you're going to have a tough time making a play on that. Murray will pick up the base hit.
First hit of the night for Kyler Murray, the Sooners quarterback in the fall. And it'll bring up Riley Ware.
Anytime you get a ball hit left or right or the left side of the infield and Murray's at the plate, you're going to have a tough chance. And it's a very difficult chance. As the ball traveled across the infield, Murray's about 10 feet past first.
He's fast already. Pearson, nice effort, but Murray is safe at first with nobody out. Ware has flied out to center, singled, and struck out.
Kind of same situation. He squared around the bunt. Got 2 strikes on him at the last at bat and then chased a curveball up. He pulled the bat back on the first fastball and got a strike 1 call.
But down the first base line, gets the job done. Murray advances to second. And Ware is out. So Murray to second. Runner on second with 1 out. It'll bring up Mendenhall. Feels like Mendenhall's batted a lot tonight.
He has.
Good job, hasn't he?
Here you go. Come get me. And Smith makes the chase and puts the tag on Briley Ware. And he gets the sacrifice. Did a good job getting Murray into scoring position. Mendenhall, I mean, we talked about it before the game. He's 27 RBIs, leads the team, and he hits typically 6th or 7th in the lineup. Very dependable with what he does.
Nice to have that kind of bat in the bottom of the lineup.
Well, just veteran guy. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Also means he's got a lot of guys on base when he comes up.
With the strikeout ability of Townsend, I think that's where, the guy at home saying, okay, go ahead and walk him to put first and second and set up the double play situation. But because he has the ability to strike out so many people, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let him take a shot at it with 1 out and a runner at second to get him out. And he gets ahead 0-1 on a swing and miss.
Murray doing some dancing over there at second base.
And not particularly that he's going anywhere. It's just that a lot of times that will distract the pitcher's thoughts. You can't get tied up with what Kyler Murray's doing. If he's going to steal third, he's going to steal third. Get the hitter at the plate.
When you were playing, who are some guys or a guy or two that just were kooks over at second base trying to get to you?
Well, I mean, guys like Ricky Henderson was goofy. Yeah. I mean, over 1,500, whatever it was, stolen bases. I played with Lou Brock in St. Louis when he had 938 originally. Tim Rock Rain's a guy that would steal a lot of bases.
Sure.
Mickey Hatcher is crazy. He wasn't a base stealer, but he'd always try to get your attention out at second just because he was goofy.
You rattled off 3 great stolen base guys. Then
yeah,
here comes Mickey Hatcher out of nowhere.
Yeah, Mickey Hatcher out of nowhere, exactly. But it was more about just trying to distract guys from doing things. Mike Heath was another one, a catcher. He couldn't run past his shadow,
right.
but he would do stuff at second to make you think of that. You know, and a lot of times you step off, walk back there, and I go, I know you're not going anywhere, just stand still.
Yeah,
just
sure.
leave it alone.
Mike Heath. Held up. 2-2 now to Mendenhall.
See, defensively late in the ball game, I'm all for letting your infielders stay put. You start trying to fight over to hold the runner on its second, it just opens up a bigger hole.
The pace has slowed just a bit with Townsend on the mound.
Well, and this happens because you got runners on base. You're looking back, checking runners.
Murray
Kinda
goes.
saw that coming.
He is out.
And I think you probably is going to see Skip come out of the dugout on this one. Perfect throw. The tag is up on the hip for the called out. Skip's not going to say anything. But it was pretty apparent. I thought maybe he got him up on the hip. You'll take it any way you can. There's 2 outs now and a 3-2 count. That's just second time Murray's been thrown out in his Sooner career as a base stealer.
So different situation now. 2 outs, nobody on for Mendenhall. He flew out to center in the second, grounded out in the fourth, and knocks one foul down the right field line.
You know, a lot of times when you're up by 1 and you're at second base and you're going to make that steal of third, you better make sure you make it. When you're a good base stealer, because you're going to score on a base hit either way.
Sure.
And you're up 1, particularly if you're down 1 or tied. It's not pretty if you get thrown out.
Do you think he had the green light to do whatever he wants?
Absolutely did.
And the strikeout. So Mendenhall takes a seat.
Everybody thought it was a strikeout except for the home plate umpire.
I can include myself in that.
Yeah,
I saw this, so I looked down.
Well, you saw him jump out, and you saw Kaiser head to the dugout.
Good gracious.
And that induced Townsend a run to the dugout, and everybody left but the home plate umpire in Mendenhall, and he went to first.
And you, to your credit, you stayed with the rest of us.
Just kind of watching here, and you'll see it right now. I mean, the pitch was in. Wow. Run that back one more time.
I want you guys.
I want you to see this real quick, and if we could, at some point, I'd like for you to run this back because it was a great shot by you guys on the replay when you ran that back. Close it on the umpire as the ball approaches. If you could stop it, because his eyes are slammed shut. All right, watch your umpire's eyes. Watch. Slammed shut. Wow. Then they open back up.
How about that?
Ball or strike? I don't know. Sounded like a ball to me.
Wasn't watching. Thank you. So that'll bring up Cavalli and all the madness, and with a runner on first and 2 outs. So Mendenhall takes that walk. Getting a chuckle over there as this one gets past.
Yeah, Mendenhall's got pretty good speed. He shot into second base on the wild pitch.
You know what's tough about this? Okay, big deal. He didn't strike out. He got the walk. We got Cavalli. Now you got a runner in scoring position.
Now the ball bounced away, and as soon as it got enough away from Kaiser, he took off. It's called reading the pitch in the dirt and taking advantage of it.
I mean, this could be very critical now. If Cavalli somehow gets a base hit, it makes it a 4-2 game. We go from a strikeout to a possible run now for the Sooners. Well, that was just crazy. Cavalli has struck out twice and flew out to center. Last time, big cut. George, what is that he has around his neck?
It's a neck warmer. Don't you wish you'd invented certain things?
That looks nothing more like a T-shirt
and a towel
wadded up around your neck.
Yeah, they're neck warmers.
Somebody invented that.
Oh yeah, they heat them up. It's like a hand warmer or foot warmer or anything else. You put it around the neck and it fits tight and it keeps the heat in.
Takes up high. 2-1.
You like that slow motion with the umpire's eyes shut.
That was incredible how you picked that up. Of course, you've been a pitcher forever, so you can see that stuff,
just,
right?
You know, broadcasting 25 years, you used to see it a lot on those slow-mos. You see everybody shut their eyes, including the catcher. You call them blinkers.
Are you implying that had he had his eyes open, it might have been strike?
No, I'm just saying guys are blinkers. You know, it's so quick. They blink when the pitch comes in. Catchers do it, umpires do it.
A little bit longer top of the 8th than the Golden Eagles would like.
No, absolutely it has been.
Still no damage as Cavalli's looking at 3-1. Cade Cavalli from Bixby, freshman. Pops it up. And out of play. Tough night so far for the hometowner. Could be a big deal here with a base hit. And Cavalli will take first base. So 2 straight walks by Townsend leaves Mendenhall at second and Cavalli at first. Hardman, the batter, had a rough night, struck out and has grounded out twice. Sooners looking for a little bit of insurance, and now a visit to the mound from Wes Davis to see what's going on with Townsend and the control.
Part of the deal is you thought you had to strike out, you're heading off the mound, you come back, you start to let those thoughts interfere with your next approach to your next hitter versus just, you back away from it. You know, that's over. Michaels is warming up down in the bullpen for the Golden Eagles, as well as there's a shuffle through paperwork here. That's not good when somebody's warming up and then they don't have their number.
I'm going to help you out there.
McCutcheon.
It's McCutcheon.
It's McCutcheon, the left-hander, warming up, who is DH tonight. And then Logan Michaels.
Just like the old days, Trevor pitching, Trevor batting.
Absolutely. Yeah, came up with a double.
2 outs. Hardman, the freshman, DH with a home run and 7 RBI this year. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Big runner on second base in Mendenhall. And that will be strike 1. Half-hearted attempt by Hardman. They'll call it the strike, and it's 0-1. This is a really big at bat. Crowd pretty much into it this entire game. Nobody has really left. Still a good group. Waiting for some post-game fireworks and maybe some in-game fireworks when the Golden Eagles come up to bat. One and one the count. Big spot here for the freshman Hardman.
Now the freshman group tonight has had some big spots for both ball clubs. One of the things you never see Townsend do, and I mean, not never, that's probably not the right way to put it, but he's only had 8 walks in 26 innings. 38 strikeouts, yet he's had 2 walks here in this inning back to back. Or 1 walk. Yeah, 2 walks back to back.
I agree with you. I think he could have been a little rattled by that no call a couple of batters ago. Just got to get it back together.
And missed poorly there.
3-1.
He has the type of delivery that's he's got a little bit of a jab on the backside with his hand and a quick head jerk. So if everything's not timed right, you're going to see a lot of balls sail out of the zone.
Good job by Kaiser from letting that one not get away from him. He thought about taking a walk, Hardman did, but a strike, we've got a full count now.
Yeah, well, just part of that is I think the other pitch was inside. That's why he's not called it a strike. This one here was more down the middle of the plate.
Full count, 2 outs, runners on the go. Huge at bat for both clubs. And he fouls it off.
Got his arm slot back pretty good on the last 2 fastballs, meaning he repeated really well. The ball was down with good velocity. And it's 3-2 count. It would be the gutsy call here is slider, because his is a wipeout slider. And I think you could, if you get close enough to the zone, you could induce the freshman to swing at it. But if you miss, you got bases loaded. That's not what you want.
Not at all. Nicely done. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and once again the Sooners come up empty on the board. Golden Eagles trailing 3-2. We're going to the bottom of the 8th right after this. Hanging out to a great baseball game and the potential of great fireworks after the game. ORU has a little work to do down 3-2. Let's go to Eric Hansen.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. As Sooners had a really good pitching outing, so going for them tonight, especially from their starter tonight, Kyle Tyler, with 9 strikeouts. Earlier in the game, some of these young ORU bats talking to Coach Ryan Neal, talking about that slider, about that cutter, about that off-speed stuff, and he simply said, boys, you know the best way to hit a slider? Hit the fastball.
That's not bad advice, and unless the fastball is running pretty hot, then it's going to make it a little bit tough to do.
Pearson, Rourke, and Hernandez for the Golden Eagles in the bottom of the 8th. Pearson has struck out twice. Once looking, once swinging.
Now you're going to see gas from Hansen. It's going to be 90-93. He pitched and finished the last inning up when he struck out 2 of the Golden Eagles to end the inning.
It's very unusual to have an ORU batter in the 8th that's only been up twice at this point. It's a testament of how good the pitching's been for Oklahoma.
Well, and again, Hansen's one of these guys that if he stays on line, it's good. When he starts to fall off first base side trying to force velocities when he gets in trouble.
Third strikeout of the night for Pearson. The freshman having a rough outing. And I have it on my book. 3 straight strikeouts for Hansen.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't believe it. I thought I had misscored, which happens quite often. Top of the order, Nick Rourke. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. And somebody for the Golden Eagles with 4 outs remaining, or 5 outs remaining rather, got to get something going, especially when you have the top of the order. This might be it for these guys. Another strike. You've got your wheelhouse guys in Rourke, Hernandez, Cummings, and Kaiser.
A good fastball hitter and a good guy with a good fastball on the mound.
Nick Rourke, the senior from Broken Arrow, has had a great career as a Golden Eagle. We said earlier he's hit safely in 19 of 20 games. That streak alive again tonight with his single in the first inning.
Now, Connor Berry's the closer for the Sooners. He has 5 on the year. He more than likely would come out to throw the 9th inning.
Sooners a tall order, the only unbeaten team in Big 12 play entering this game. And of course, this is not obviously a Big 12 game, so that streak will continue. On the road where they haven't won yet this year, 0-3. So a lot on the line for Oklahoma as well. Coming off a sweep of Baylor, they'll be at TCU this upcoming weekend. Swing and a miss by Rourke. Big cut. Full count. And we do have a defensive change for the Sooners we need to mention. Brady Lindsley is the new catcher.
Yeah, leading hitter on their ball club. Normal starting catcher. He's was under the weather at the start of this contest. Obviously, he's feeling much better.
4 straight strikeouts for Hansen, as Rourke takes a seat.
That's kind of nice. Brady's brother's coming here next year. Left-handed hitting bat. Very good bat. He'll be coming here to play as a catcher. Can play first, DH'd a little bit, but swings the bat.
That brings up Cal Hernandez. Cal's had a rough night. He struck out, grounded into a double play, and grounded out. 12-game hitting streak on the line for Cal, with 1 out, 2 outs rather. Boy, it seems like somebody just needs to make contact.
Well, it's just here it is. Let's hook up and get after it. I mean, that's Hansen his freshman year had the very good curveball. Just in the last 6 to 8 months, his fastball's made that jump from 91 to 95. Probably should go on the first 5 rounds in the draft, possibly escalate even higher with the emphasis of bullpen arms now at the major league level. Polished college guy that 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds. Really good kid. Fun to be around, fun to talk to.
But not much fun for Cal Hernandez, who falls back to 0-2.
Or the other 4 Sooners that have faced him, all on strikeouts. Or excuse me, Oral Roberts hitters who have faced him, all on strikeouts.
Looking for his 5th straight strikeout is Hansen. And Hernandez flies that one to shallow left. And backing up and making the catch is Zaragoza. So Hernandez gets a bat on it, but the bad news is that's 3 outs for the Golden Eagles. They'll have the 9th to try to get this thing back. Through 8, the Sooners lead 3-2. Back after this. Down the stretch we come. The Sooners on top of the Golden Eagles 3-2 as we enter the top of the 9th. And a new pitcher, McCutchen. Trevor McCutchen comes in. Longtime Golden Eagle. Feels like he's been there forever. Just a redshirt junior.
Well, the big thing about it, anytime you get a 2-way guy at the mid-level, it's a tremendous asset. Out of Owasso, Oklahoma, played for Larry Turner. Good fastball, curveball mix, throws strikes very well, but has swung the bat. He hit the double off the wall earlier in this ball game.
For the Sooners, he'll be facing DeRenzo, the 9 spot. Harris and Zaragoza.
Lindsley came in for DeRenzo in the last inning.
You are correct, sir.
So it'll be, I think that's why they went to the left-on-left matchup. You'll have he and Cade Harris both coming in. So Harris and Lindsley and Harris back-to-back. Lindsley very good, 358 on the year with 20 RBI. No, you know what? The wind continues to go, and tough to fly north right now.
Absolutely. Not a
bumpy.
Not a single home run. We had a couple of near misses, but nothing has left the yard yet, and I attribute good pitching to that. I mean,
a lot of good.
Really good.
It has been very good. Sooners have struck out 11. The Golden Eagles have struck out 9 entering the 9th inning.
Pretty good stuff. 3-2. Good baseball score. Just a great game overall so far.
Fun game to watch.
So Lindsley with a .358 batting average. Sooners aren't done trying to get on the board. And strike 1. McCutchen has a really stout physique, just really condensed and
strong man.
Yeah, he is. And Lindsley almost, but a nice play by Cummings to make that one. I thought it might drop. Cummings makes the out. Lindsley sits, and back to the top of the order with Cade Harris.
Slider out over the plate. And sometimes with these younger guys, you think you're going to have a little bit of an intimidation factor on it, but not the case at all. He came in, Cummings came in, fielded the ball very easily and cleanly. You got a good read off the bat.
Harris struck out last time up. He has flied out to center, or to left, hit a double and scored, and was out on a fielder's choice. He's the one we talked about in the pregame, about just a guy who gets on base, A lot of walks. Just a classic leadoff hitter for the Sooners. McCutcheon's job is clear. Do not allow any runs and let the meat of the ORU order in the bottom of the ninth see if they can get something on the board. The Golden Eagles will have Cummings, Kaiser, and McCutcheon. That's a pretty good threesome.
Well, you got a chance where any one of those guys can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
0-2 to Cade Harris, Jr. You know, as a relief pitcher yourself, you came in there and you had the luxury of warming up, not batting before that. How tough is it for a guy like McCutcheon to take his swings in the game and then move over to the pitching side?
Well, obviously your thought has to change, but I think the big key is your body's pretty loose. You know, you've been out running. It's not like you're sitting down in the bullpen playing cards and eating hot dogs and tell you to get up and start pitching.
Which has happened to some.
A lot. Yeah. Brats in Milwaukee, not saying anything. But, I mean, that's just kind of one of the things, you know, and so you've been out on base paths, you've ran, you hit a double early in the ball game. That got him. That didn't feel good.
That got him right on the fat of the calf, it looked like.
Yeah, that hurt. That really hurt. He tried to get out of the way of it and just bailed, but not good. I'll tell you, this fastball tried to get out of there. It hit right on the bone, right on the knee, on a 2-2 count.
So obviously nothing intentional there, but Harris is going down. This isn't one of those just pop up and shake it off things. They're looking at his knee joint.
Yeah, he's pretty grumpy right now. You know, this is where the trainers always used to come out and they'd grab your leg and they'd grab a hold of it and goes, "This where it hurts?" Yeah. That's where I got hit, and that's where it hurts. Quit touching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a couple of guys to help me out here and help me get up off this field a little bit. Well, the big concern is for them in these midweek games, this is a valuable person for their lineup. Extremely valuable for their team going forward in the Big 12.
Well, let's hope Cade Harris is okay. We'll take a break and be back. Golden Eagles trailing 3-2 in the ninth. So it looks like Cade Harris is okay. Easy for me to say, right?
Real easy for us to say. Well, he's at first. If he wasn't okay, be in the dugout, right?
Right. So Harris moves to first with one out, and it brings up Zaragoza. Zaragoza has also been hit by a pitch tonight.
Zaragoza's swung it back pretty good, though. He's had a walk, a base hit. He's been hit by a pitch, on base 3 times.
He's done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, flew out to third base and won at bat. Very good player. Young player out of the Moore area.
Sophomore shortstop was hitting .299 coming in. Still looking for that first home run with 15 RBIs. A lot of fans still here, and fireworks show may be part of that, but it's a good ball game.
Well,
it's still in doubt. I mean,
yeah.
It's still up in the air.
Scott, a very good ball game, and I think that's the exciting part for these fans is to realize you do have a good ball game. You didn't have to travel to Norman. You're right here at Oral Roberts. Beautiful, beautiful facility to watch baseball, participate in. Good concessions, good food, hot coffee on a cool night, hot cocoa on a cool night.
Trevor McCutcheon looking for a ground ball here with one out. 2-1. If Zaragoza, if there's still, if it's not a double play, Walker and Murray lurking. The 3 and 4 batters.
Two-seam fastball missed down and away, 2-1.
So McCutcheon obviously does not want to get somebody in scoring position. So he's going to have to bear down on this one.
Logan Michaels, the right-hander, warming up for ORU. Missed again, ball 4.
First and second now, with one out. And there will be a conversation with McCutcheon. Now you've got Stout in the bullpen, who is your closer. What is your theory on, you've mentioned before, he ties it up, it goes into extra innings. Do you worry about that when it happens and just shut the door now, or do you just try to weasel your way through here and you got Stout in case it goes into extras?
You know what? I think you trust yourself to get out of the inning with these guys. Because if you blow Stout up and he comes in and gets them out 1, 2, 3 in one swing like you had last week, Rotella hits a home run to tie it, you burn out most of your bullpen.
Yes. But now you've got a guy in scoring position with 1 out, and you've got the 3-4 batters coming up. Difficult situation. That's what makes baseball great.
Well, you got those strikes. I mean, you Steele Walker's his last batter unless he gets a double play. Be the last guy he faced. They'll bring Michaels in to face the right-handed hitting Murray.
Walker struck out his first 2 times swinging. Then he walked and scored in the 6th and flew out to center field in the 7th.
Deep fly ball.
Yeah, he pounded that. And despite the wind continually blowing out, nothing has happened as the 2 runners advance as the ball gets past Kaiser. Well, now big trouble.
Well, wild pitch. And I mean, again, this is a difficult ball to try to block. He's wanting McCutchen to throw the ball more to the middle of the plate and out. So you kind of anticipate the break on the baseball from a left-hander coming and going to the right side. You're left as a catcher. And then when it does just the opposite of that, it makes it difficult to block the pitch.
Takes the conventional double play out of the picture. Maybe most importantly, still 1 out. Runners now at 2nd and 3rd for Walker. 1-1 count.
The infield will come in. It'll be a 1-2 count. Sinker down and in. Walker was ejected from a game a week ago and had to sit 1 game in the Baylor series.
Would be a huge strikeout here for McCutchen.
See you.
Couldn't do a thing. Walker just frozen at home plate. That'll be 2 outs now. And a little bit of breathing room now for McCutchen, although Kyler Murray now at the plate.
Well, Steele Walker, 3 strikeouts, a walk, and a pop fly. He did score a run in the ball game. Not your typical Steele Walker night.
And Wes Davis going to take a stroll out there. But he stops. He's headed off by the umpire.
Well, they're making a switch here with, you got to remember, McCutchen was your DH.
Right. So there's going to be all kinds of tomfoolery in the lineup now, aren't there? So we're going to take a break. When we come back, a pitching change for ORU. Golden Eagles trailing 3-2 in the 9th. Back after this. Michaels comes in for the Golden Eagles with 1 job to do. That is eliminate Kyler Murray and get the Golden Eagles to the 9th down by only 1. Murray has singled, struck out twice, once looking, once taking, and walked. We've talked a lot about him tonight. I'm sure a lot of people watching our game are probably OU football fans. He's not only on the baseball team and the football team, but he's also the cleanup hitter and the quarterback. That just says a lot. A lot of times you see these 2 sport guys, and they're really good at one, and the other one they're pretty good. They're just passing time, want to do it. This guy is really good at both sports.
He is very good at both sports. I think he's gotten much better as time has gone because of this, and it just, you know, he came out of high school. Was a shortstop, went to Texas A&M. He played football 2 years. He left and came to OU.
Sooners benefit. Logan Michaels was a 1-time starter. And now mostly seen in relief. I guess always seen in relief at this point. But a good solid guy to bring in. You can tell they're just holding Stout. And I agree with you, thinking that if this thing goes extras, we're going to need something. Michaels, a .82 ERA in 11 innings. So he's done a great job.
The stuff may not wow you, but the competitiveness is off the charts.
11 innings pitched, just 1 earned run. Little bit of an area of concern 6 walks compared to 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, but he will challenge you. He's going to throw the ball over the plate. He dare you to see how far you can hit it.
Still some students hanging around. A great ball game.
Got on his camouflage jacket, running the camera. I could already see him.
Just yeah, just in case there are any ducks flying overhead, he's ready to roll, isn't he? So 2 outs. Kyler Murray at the plate. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. You cannot afford to give up a hit. And that was not the best swing I've ever seen. Strike 1 to Murray.
Well, the thing is, you're thinking you're going to get ahead, dead red fastball, and you throw the changeup. And that's just maturity of the hitter not being aware or understanding. I mean, it's a difficult pitch on an 0-0 count.
One thing the Golden Eagles seem to have plenty of is bullpen help this year.
Well, they're just deep there. They got some older guys. Stout's older. Womack's older. Townsend's gone through the junior college wars. I mean, they've got some guys down there. Same thing with Larkins.
Inside, ball 1. Some fans enjoying the warm view from inside the room there, the group room.
That group room used
Selinger
to be,
room, yeah, the Selinger room.
That used to be the indoor facility, believe it or not.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. Came here and worked out when I moved here and signed professionally. I worked out here starting in the winter of '77 with Jim Brewer.
No kidding.
His numbers retired on the wall here. And Jim, a longtime friend of mine. Unfortunately, we lost him. So we had to work our way back through all that underneath, and cold over there. Steve Rogers, myself, Bob Shirley.
Sure.
A lot of guys in this area.
Murray skies it to center. And off the wall, that's going to score 2. And Murray's headed for 3rd with a stand-up triple.
Yeah, that kind of shows you the type of strength and quickness in his bat that he has.
Kyler Murray, who we've talked about all game, just fascinating for Sooner fans being the quarterback, and he just clocks one to center field.
Yeah, dead center, 400 some odd feet from home. Rotella with very good speed, going to fight back to the wall to get there, and then had to take it about 1.5 feet from leaving the yard and getting out of the ballpark, but quickly a 5-2 Sooner lead now.
Pair of RBI for Murray, and that'll bring up Briley Ware.
17 RBIs on the season now for Kyler Murray.
So Murray gets the stand-up triple, driving in 2.
Excuse me, that's 21 RBIs for Murray now.
That's a tough deal for Logan Michaels, too. Boy, you know, as a pitcher, you give up something like that, you're trying to get your control back and keep your head together.
Yeah, it's why you're trying to keep your team in a 1-run ball game. It's what you've been brought in to do. Just don't make it any more than you have to get it expanded.
So Murray only 90 feet away to make it 6-2. So Michael's job is the same. Get out of this inning.
Well, unfortunately, those 2 runs are going to be tagged to Trevor McCutcheon, not to
that's true.
Michaels, because they wasn't Michaels' guys that put him on.
Another high fly to left, this time Ware. And the out is made. Rotella makes the catch, but the damage has been done. Sooners up 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. For the Golden Eagles, it'll be Cummings, Kaiser, and a player to be named later. We'll see who it is coming up. Be some retired numbers at ORU.
Trivia question,
right,
who are they?
This. I can do Larry Koshel is number 1.
Right.
On the right is Jim Brewer.
Yes, sir.
All right, now I got that middle guy.
Mike Moore.
I was just going to say Mike Moore.
No, you weren't.
I was about to say, I was going to say Mike. I'm going to say Mike Moore.
Mike lived in Arizona for years. He's back in the state. He's in Eakley, Oklahoma again.
All right. This would be like that question we had earlier. You probably know where Eakley is, though.
I do. It's about 25, 30 miles on the west side on 40 as you head to Amarillo.
Okay. So it's just almost across the border. All right, George, we got some fun coming up in a couple of weeks. The Golden Eagles will be on the road this week. Fort Wayne comes to town for a 6:30 game in a couple of weeks. Fort Wayne's struggling right now, but we'll see what happens when they get here. But more importantly, the Golden Eagles' last shot starts with Noah Cummings. And a 1-run game is now a 3-run game.
Long inning. Let's see how Hansen handled it. Thought maybe they may go down to the bullpen. He hadn't thrown very many pitches and has been very successful. 4 strikeouts in his 2 innings of work.
Yeah, so 4 of the 5 batters he's faced have struck out. Pop to the right side, out of play.
Usually this time of the, excuse me, Scott, usually this time in the game you'll see Braden Fink, the left-hander for the Sooners, and the right-hander Connor Berry has 5 saves on the year. Fink with 1.
If it was 3-2 instead of 5-2, do you think you'd see that?
You'd see Berry right now. Pretty good feeling that, although Hansen does have 1. There's the curveball. That slipped just a little bit. Missed by about 8 feet.
Is that the Bob Uecker line?
Yeah, it's just a little bit. That's right. Here's another look at it. Hey, where are we going?
2-1 now to Cummings.
Gonna look back up at Cummings. Say, how'd you not swing at that?
Cummings, fly ball right side.
Now Cavalli's going after it. Nice catch.
Wow, over
really
the
nice
shoulder.
catch. Yeah, the type of catch, that's the athleticism. Everybody doesn't realize this. Cavalli played shortstop, and he's about 30 pounds lighter when he played shortstop in high school and in the summer. You can see a little bit of that athleticism, staying, focusing on the baseball, and making a catch down the right field line. Nice job by the freshman.
That'll bring up Riley Kaiser, who started the game at first base and has moved over to catcher. Kaiser, 1 for 3, has the single and scored in the 4th. Struck out looking in the 1st and struck out swinging in the 6th. A lot of strikeouts by the Golden Eagles tonight, facing very good Sooner pitching.
It has been very good Sooner pitching, and there's nothing you can do about what you're facing right now.
These 2 teams will match up again in just about a week or so.
It might have been midweek starters, but it was weekend closers and setup people come into this ball game.
Foul ball. April 11th, these 2 teams will face off in Norman. The first in business for the Golden Eagles, they'll go to Western Illinois. Back to Summit League play this weekend.
That's the fun part for me. You guys at the university are kind enough to invite me over to do some ESPN games, and I'll have the Oral Roberts at Oklahoma ball game. I'm going to look forward to seeing the matchup back to back.
Oh yeah, fun. You'll be well versed.
Or a good liar, one of the 2.
1-2 to Kaiser. Golden Eagles just have not really had any rallies tonight. They did score the 2 runs they have in the 4th, but that was really on 1 play. Some chaos at home plate with overthrows and the like, and 2 runs scored on the play. But really, I'm looking at the book here. It looks like four batters in 1 inning is the most they've had. 1, 2, 3, 4. They haven't had any of those 7, 8 batters, 9 batter type innings. They just haven't.
Just 3 batters have been left on. There's that hard hammer. And he caught on the back foot of Riley Kaiser there. That didn't feel good. They're going to throw that front foot out a little bit to clear to get to the breaking ball. Then it bounced back up, caught him in the knee and the back foot.
Yeah, when he's catching, he has shin guard, not when he's batting.
No.
2-2. The Golden Eagles, as we said earlier, have shown some big innings this year. Out of nowhere, they'll score 6 in an inning, but they're going to really need to get busy now to make that happen as Kaiser strikes out swinging. 2 outs. I gotta say, Hansen really done a nice job, and Tyler before him. It's been a great pitching performance by the Sooners tonight.
It sure has. I mean, Hansen's done a nice job, and then Kyle Tyler, who started the ball game, comes up with the win if they're able to hold on to this 3-run lead. It's been good all the way around.
Strikeout number 5 for Hansen. Brings on McCutcheon.
Not sure what that was. Wasn't close, whatever it was.
5-2 Sooners, bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. And a number to short, that should do it. And that's it. Zaragoza to Cavalli, and that's it. The Sooners win. Final score 5-2 on some brilliant pitching from OU. And, you know, the Sooners have not had a bunch of luck here in Tulsa in recent years, so it probably feels good for them to get one. And as for the Golden Eagles, they'll go back to conference play this weekend against Western Illinois. George, your thoughts?
Well, it's well-pitched game, well-played game. The last inning, we had a little hiccup that happened there. We all know that. And, you know, you get a couple of guys on a walk and then a number, and then that's just a tough break for either one of these teams. And for them to just not